Topical and atypical. Unfiltered and independent. 100% authentic and intelligent.
All right. Are y'all ready? Bust out your Amanda Lander notebook, get your word of the day logbook, and let's get into it. Don't forget, after the show, our SEAL Squad members head on over to Patreon for the after show pickback, where we talk about all the things that went on in the show and how to turn it into action. You ready? Amanda Lander! Learn it. We're back. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome back to class, y'all. It is another hello. Someone said Grand Rising. Y'all, why did my DoorDash delivery man say Grand Rising to me yesterday? Wait, what did y'all just wait? Why did y'all say you have? You liked the Amanda Landers Learn Up? Did you like it? I've been working on that. You see, I came back. So I'm having an epiphany. The thing about the neurodivergent mind is that it's always doing a reassessment, like all the time. Like it never that's why it's hard to brainwash the neurodivergent mind, because it never stays stagnant. And this morning I sat down to do the show. And to be quite honest, I realized that I don't want to do the show the same way I've been doing the show. I'm very emotional this morning. And I know that's because I'm changing. And the way that we've done the show up until this point is somewhat like a news show. Not somewhat, it is a news show. I want to change the news that I'm sharing. So I'm a prophet, like I'm a seer. I see things before they happen. And I am typically like three years ahead. And what I'm seeing is that we are attaching ourselves to the day-to-day and ignoring what actually is needed to fortify us in those same spaces. So like, I know that we want to know the news and we want to know what's going on, but we also need to be fortified in those spaces. Okay, so now I'm distracted because of this nonsense. I don't even know what you're trying to say here, but I tell you what, I'm tired of hearing if Kamala was president. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. I am tired of it. I want this space to be one where we are uplifting the actions and the efforts and the skill sets and the knowledge that we need to fight the day-to-day. You know, so I was doing a live on Patreon the other day, and someone mentioned how Joel Santana, the rapper from Dipset, had at one point said that reading is basically like not necessary. Literacy is not necessary, but financial literacy is necessary. And I made a video on Instagram yesterday where I basically said, I mean, I guess I could just show you all the video. Where I basically sent out like an APB, so to speak. Okay. I sent out an APB to Jewels like, hey, can somebody get in touch with Jewels because I want to talk to him about this. And I'm going to show you all the video. Hold on. I'm just taking it easy right now. Like, we have a dope show. We have my girl Laura Chung joining us. But I usually am like very stressed when I'm doing this show because I'm like wanting to make sure that it's right. And I'm just letting all of that go. You're going to get me for 4 hours every Wednesday, and you're going to get what I give you. And that's how we're going to do this. Okay. And like, we're still going to do the things that you love. We're going to roll call, and we're going to word of the day, and we're going to, what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to critical think, and we're going to Black Accurate News sometimes, and we're going to how black do I feel today? And, you know, we're going to do these, that we're going to high quality white. But I'm just going to release myself from format and just give y'all just run on vibes and take y'all through a journey. And if that works for you, stick around. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's how it's going. And shout out everybody listening on the podcast. We welcome you, and shout out all of our replay crew. So it was brought to my attention that Joel Santana was saying that reading is not important, that literacy is not important, but financial literacy is. I'm not going to even argue the point because it's not a valid point. I would, however, love to get in touch with Jewels, what's really good, and have an offline convo. As an educator, as an artistic intellectual, as a radical Black woman, I just feel like it's so important that we each one teach one, and I'm more than happy to share my knowledge and time and energy with the brother on this topic. I think it would be really valuable and helpful. And speaking of valuable and helpful, when I first moved to Harlem in 2003, Joel's brother Twin made sure that the cats on the block did not mess with me. It looked out for me. And that's something that I will always cherish, because when you're moving into a new hood, you want to make sure that you are protected, and they looked out. And while we're addressing Dipset, Jewels, dip, Santana, set. So anybody out there, if you are still connected to Jewels, let him know that I'm looking for him, and I'd love to talk. And I'm here in New York. At one point in time, Jim Jones called me a dummy on the internets for supporting Biden. And he was right. It's a summer with Miami. Smart money. Make sure to go to amandalandexports.com and get your Smart, Funny, and Black shirt. And this morning, Joelle's hit me and said, let's do it. And, you know, let me also just say that Joelle's and Jim have always been kind to me. So let me just say that. That's why when Jim said I was a dummy, I was very bothered, but they've always been kind to me. And I feel like, you know, I understand the whole like fuck celebrities and all this stuff, but I need you all to also understand like they're still people. And these are people I know. You know, these are people that I've met. I met during like very you know, kind of like like when I was young. And I remember one time doing an interview on MTV2 where I said to them, you know, folks say that you rap like nursery rhymes. And they were like, I mean, like they were not offended in any shape, way, or form. And we like had a conversation about it. After that, the comments under the video that had been posted by MTV2 were so unbelievably horrible. I remember specifically someone said, this woman needs to fall down an elevator shaft and her eyes need to pop out and I will F her in the eye sockets. Like, because it would always be like young men who are in these comment sections that are just trying to outdo each other with the nonsense and the shock. And it was just a very wild experience because the brothers that I was actually talking to, Jim Jones gave me a ride uptown to Harlem that time. And by the way, they never hollered at me. Never came at me sideways. Never tried to holler at me. None of that. None of it. And when you come out of a industry that is incredibly just deleterious, just full of predators, etc., you remember who did not come at you sideways. You remember that because it's just so the regular. You remember who regarded you, who gave you respect. That's why, you know, it's like Mobb Deep, always respect. I think I talked about this recently, but like A-Ball and MJG, respect. Always. Always. I know this is going to sound crazy. 50 Cent always showed me respect. Every time. Just call me Sister Soldier. So I feel the shift happening and I want to be able to share. He sent me 3 voice notes. I need to listen to them, but I want to be able to share with you all just different content. Because when I see everybody doing the same thing, I know it's time for me to move on. You feel me? And everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody is talking about the same things in the same way. And I'm not the same as nobody. So once I start to see myself feeling like I'm merging into that, I got to get out. No. I can't be, I never feel comfortable in that because once I see that, I know that we're all not doing this in the same interest, right? Like we're operating now in a silo. And a lot of times that silo ends up being about like other ulterior motives. That's not interesting to me. I'm not interested. So we're not doing that on the show anymore. It's not to say that I won't like have news to talk about, but I don't want to be a purveyor of news. I want to be a builder of spirit. I want to be presenting you all with content that expands you. And for what it's worth, that's not simply just me. I mean, there's a world out here that we need to connect to, that we need to connect to through other than just what the news is. Does that make sense? So like this is like your high vibration show. Look at it like that. You know, you're waking up on the right side of history because you're on a high vibration. And well, Adrian said it makes sense, so then I know it makes sense. There's a couple of y'all in here where once I know that you agree, I'm like, oh, okay, we're fine. Carmen. If Carmen had said it first, I would have been like, all right, whatever, we're moving on. Carmen said it, so it has been anointed. So let's do a roll call, find out where y'all are at in this colonizer new year. Hold on. Before we bring up our guest. Hold on, like I'm like so out of practice. I'm like over here, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Like come on. Shooby dooby dooby doop doop doo. Let's go, let's find out where y'all at. Hey, Amanda Landers here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. Let's get all up into this. Cleveland, Ohio. Amanda Landers here to learn. Jersey City, where you coming from? Austin, Texas. Brandon's in H-Town. We got Aloha from the Bay. Brooklyn, New York. Carmen's in Lytle, Texas. Long Island, New York. Brooklyn, Philly, Tacoma, Washington. Someone said they have to lower their speakers. That's right. Berlin, Tallahassee, Los Angeles, California, Indianapolis, Montreal. Have some poutine for me. Dallas, Fort Worth. Sarah's over there in Valley Cottage. Sarah, you want to be a cat sitter? Because you're right by my house. Bahamas, Phoenix. Yes, Megan Collier is in Massachusetts. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Oakland, California. Blizzardy in Chi-Town. Lansing, Michigan. Sugarland, Tejas. Zacatecas, Oregon. Mexico City. Moco, Maryland. Yonkers. Seattle, Washington. The office in Sunnyvale, California. Connecticut. Gary, Indiana. I definitely danced to the Jacksons this morning. Downtown Manhattan and Housing Court. Boo. Tribeca. Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Viterbo, Italy. Buongiorno. South Africa. Yay. Atlanta. Durham, North Carolina. Chicago, Boston, Fort Lauderdale, Port Angeles, Washington, Manchester, UK, Monterey, California, with moms in Williamsport, PA. Hey, Mom. Phoenix, Arizona, San Antonio, Tejas, Frisco, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in the motherland. Dallas, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Santiago, Guyana, St. Louis. Make some pepper pots for me. Chicago, Las Vegas, Nashville, Las Vegas, Duval, Amanda Landers here to learn. Thank you for telling me where you're watching from. Oh, this is a new person. That sounds contradictive, because if you want people to be involved in a matter and that's what their content from, to you feeling a way about where you may be coming face, or am I missing something? You're missing punctuation. I have no idea what you're trying to say. All right. Let's do our word of the day before we bring Laura up. I be trying to give y'all, you know, I be trying, you know, once you start with that's a contradiction, you lost me. Because I'm not contradictory. That's part of the frustration of me to people. They're like, I can't catch her. All right. Shall we get into our word of the day? Shall we? Now, remember, we have our word of the day logbook, and that's what's going to make sure that we don't use a word that we have already used. So I love this word. Even if we've used it before, I'm going to use it again. Okay. Ooh. Hey, who's our moderators? Do we have any moderators in here yet? Rolando is in here. Rolando, get this person out of here. This person right here. Some of y'all are new and you don't know where you are. So get him out of here. Thanks, Landos. All right, word of the day. Fortuitous. Yes. Fortuitous is an adjective, accidental by chance. So fortuitous is, even though that it's accidental and by chance, it's connotated as a positive something that's happening by chance. So it's a fortuitous happening, right? Like you run into somebody, like for instance, I remember when I like accidentally ran into this brother who owns like a publishing company where he sells books to prisons. I ran into him in the post office after a whole day of like being behind. So it was almost like the gods were like, we're trying to get you to run into this person. And it was a fortuitous running into, because it turned out that he was able to link me with the person who helped me learn how to lay out my book, What Would the Ancestors Say? Now available on amandaseals.com. I mean, that's fortuitous, right? So it's kind of like serendipitous. It's in that jazz, right? It's in that area, like it's in that jazz area. Can anyone use fortuitous in a sentence? Yes, per Bob Smith, a happy accident can be a happy accident. Fortuitous is spelled Fortuit. This is spelled wrong on my card, but remember, I was only in 11th grade. Fortu. Is it wrong? Fortuitous. Oh, no. This is right. Good job, SEALs. Good job, young SEAls. Fortuitous. Fortuitous. Okay. Megan Rolfe said a family of beavers bypassed the city's approval by building a dam in a fortuitous move. First of all, any mention of beavers is welcome at all times. Okay. I don't think we're showing enough attention to beavers, because really, I've been seeing a lot of beaver content recently, and my respect is through the roof. So let's just take a moment to shout out the beavers. Okay. Tiara said, would love a fortuitous run-in with my work crush. Rayshu253 says, it was a fortuitous moment discovering Amanda through the great Dr. Jared Ball. Yay! Shout out to Dr. Jared Ball. Javon says, shall I say hearing Amanda speak truth to power was fortuitous? I mean, yeah, why not? It was a happy accident. Yeah, we're going to give you that. We're going to give you that. Shout out to all the beavers in the chat. All the beavers in the chat. Beavers are incredible. What? Where are the trolls coming from today? Why are there just random trolls in here? Okay. Mikey Tara, you could not have arrived at a more fortuitous time. And all right, we have to close on one good one. Let's close on one. Diligent said the Cam Newton internet with Lady London was fortuitous and showing stupidity. I don't even know if that actually works. Here's the thing. It's not stupidity because somebody doesn't know. It's stupidity if they stand on it. Now, I didn't see the clip. Did he stand on it? That's what I'm not sure about. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, did he stand on it? It's just crazy. Exactly, Raw Rivera. Like, trolls come in here and I'm like, what are y'all? I've been throwing shade at Indy. That whole sentence is just, I did a whole thing this morning about how I want to do positive content, and they took it as you're throwing shade at indie news sites. This is why I be by myself. This is why I be by myself in my house. Okay. All right. Someone said he stood on that 4-foot tall brim. He stood on it. Well, then I can't say nothing. Then he stood on it. Are y'all ready to get into our level us up guest? This is one of my favorite people. Are you ready? That's not it. Are you ready? Amanda Land. We are. Y'all, we are very lucky, and it is very fortuitous that you have joined today. Oh, wow, I'm on the show.
You made it.
I made it. We are joined But I feel like astrologist is just too basic of a like I feel like there's like a word before astrologist that if you're not using that I need you to find, because you're not just an astrologist. I've met astrologists. You're like a prophetess.
Ooh, the Oracle?
Yeah. The Loracle.
The Lord. I knew I could count on a Mercury in Gemini person to give me the right title.
The Loracle.
The Lord.
Are you able to turn your mic up at all?
Let me see. My mic.
I feel like you're a little low, and I'm trying to turn it up on my end, but
Okay. Is this better?
yes.
Okay.
And you are giving us such Asian shimmer shine flavor today. Like, this is very Asian, rich Asian auntie. This is very
I dressed up for you.
this is very that. So for those who don't know, Laura Chung, I don't know if you know this. You know, you were on our first episode of Views from Manderland.
I was?
Yes, you were my first. You were literally the first. It was Roy Wood Jr. and you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored.
So I'm very happy to welcome you back. It's been a year and
Yes.
a couple like little weeks of change. And when you came on, you gave us the horoscope, the reading, so to speak, of the United States. And but I know that you look at things comprehensively. So even when you're talking about the US, you're talking about it within the context of the world, which for the record, a lot of people don't. They just kind of think about the US as if it's in its own silo. So I'm going to leave the floor to you.
Okay.
Take us on a journey.
Okay. Well, we could do it one of two ways. We could do it more conversationally, or I did prepare slides.
Give us the slides.
Okay. I see this present button.
Yes.
So
you're able to access that.
Okay, share screen. Can I allow share screen? Oops.
There you are.
Okay, wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh
my gosh.
I think I clicked the wrong thing.
I think you go present, and then you go slides at the top.
Slides. Okay. Oh, your computer?
Yep.
Oh, but they're on my computer, so I just want to share the screen. Okay.
Okay. So you can share the screen.
Okay. Can I do this?
Yep, and then make it full screen.
Can you see this?
I can. Yes.
Okay.
But make it the viewer. There we go.
This? Okay.
This picture. I know this GIF so well.
Okay, the only thing is I can't see your face or anything. I just see
you
my
can't
screen.
See me. Oh, okay.
No.
We can see you. Okay.
Okay, good. And I can't see my notes, so I'm gonna try my best to do this off of memorization.
You have it in your phone?
I do.
There we go.
Okay. Look at you being so
listen.
Yeah, and my brain is so full. So if I have to look at my notes, I might have to do that. Okay.
Why is your brain so full? I mean, I know why.
Oh my God. Because there's so many dates and like things that I think I want to share, but I know we have, how much time do we have? Like 30 minutes?
However long you want.
Okay. But at the end of this, I want to give people something helpful, like how to use this astrology, because I don't want to just like trauma dump on you and be like, this is all happening and goodbye. Because because ultimately it's us preparing ourselves for what's coming. It's like astrological weather, just as if you were listening to the weather report and the weatherman says it's going to rain or it's going to snow. You want to like dress appropriately. You want to be prepared for something.
Yep.
So, and when I've done these things, when I've done these reports for other, you know, podcasts and stuff, I always lead with, I don't mean to fearmonger, but I think a little fear is helpful now at this point in 2026, not for you to be in your trigger response, but for you to do something.
Yes.
2026 is the year to act.
Yeah.
And I think when I came on last year, I said, this is the preparatory year. 2025 is like the glimpse, the preview. And now we're in it. And I mean, we all see we are in it 2 weeks into 2026.
In it.
We're in it. Okay, so I'm going to basically show the major astrological transits. I'm not going to show all of them, but some of them, and then how it relates to us as a collective. And if you want to know how this impacts you at an individual level, I am teaching Astrology 101 again. Amanda took my class.
I feel like I should take it again.
Oh, well, we start next Wednesday. So if anybody's interested, you can follow up and learn from me how to read your natal chart. So I think I've gone through all the disclaimers. So are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, eh. Okay. So the first major transit is January 26th, which is this month. Neptune will enter the sign of Aries. And we experienced this transit last summer between March and November. And Neptune is the planet that is about our imagination, our dreams. It is like the illusion. And I did a whole episode of Neptune on my podcast with a fellow astrologer, Camille Michelle Gray, and how we believe the United States uses Neptune and this illusion of white supremacy to sort of like put us in a haze, in a fog. And depending on your journey with your white adjacency or your internalized white supremacy is how you start to awaken from that dream, American dream, quote unquote. So a lot of astrologers relate Neptune and Aries. I could only hear your sound, your like sound effects, because I can't see you.
Because I'm just like, but I want you to turn your mic up a little more because you're saying all the things.
Okay. Let me see if I could do that from here. I'm not sure I can do that when I'm in the presentation.
You know
can
what?
You hear
Maybe
me?
Just be closer to the mic.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is this better?
Yes.
Is this better?
I just feel like you're saying such important things. Like I don't want it to be lost.
Okay.
How do you feel in the chat? Do y'all feel like you can hear her fine and everything? Because it could be just me. All right. They've all said that they can hear you fine. So let me just shut it up.
Oh. Okay. So back to, can you hear me?
Yes. And I also want to shout out Rolando because you just got them before I could.
Are people not behaving? Are people
No,
not
they're
behaving?
not. People are in here like, Amanda, you're beyond reproach and it's hard to consume your content. So then don't. Don't consume it. I am above reproach by strangers on the internet behind fake names and fake faces. Correct. I am above I am reproach. What is it? Unreproachable? Yeah. You want to see me in the street and have a conversation per se, then we can do that. But no, I am above the reproach of strangers on the internet. That is correct. Very astute. Kudos to them. They are not hiding behind they are not in a cloud of Neptune. They see the truth.
Oh my goodness.
So I love what you said about, so Neptune is but I love what you said about like the wielding of the dreaminess of Neptune, but for a duplicitous purpose, because I feel like I would never, you know what I mean? Like I would never consider that, but then we have to remember there's like shadow and light to everything.
Yes. And Neptune is, it also symbolizes like the film industry, because when Neptune entered Aries around the Civil War is when film photography was invented. So I also, like, as a positive transit, what I liked about Neptune and Aries last summer, we got Sinners and we got K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes,
And there
we
were
did.
films created by the global majority and like original content, you know, from the POV of people of the global majority. And so I did like that aspect of that transit. And hopefully when Neptune enters Aries for the next 14 years, we get more like original art from people of the global majority in terms of film and art and music.
Yep.
So a lot of astrologers, you know, they relate this transit to the Civil War because that was the last time Neptune entered Aries. And so we are already in a civil war. I hope everyone is on board with
Wait,
that.
say that again?
We are already in a civil war right now.
You're right. Yeah, we are.
Because of, I mean, it looks like Minneapolis is sort of the epicenter, or it's the start of it. But we saw this last summer too. That was also the rise of ICE and I think it was Los Angeles and Chicago. We saw that. And yeah, so
yeah.
it's happening. And, you know, at the time when these wars started, the Civil War, and, you know, they didn't say we are in war. It just sort of like happened, you know?
We are in war.
It wasn't until like in hindsight, these specific events were the catalyst for these moments.
Fatima here said, you know, I don't know what to call this area. It's beyond this era. It's beyond the Civil War. I think for what it's worth, when we're in times that are new times, we use language that we've
used before,
known. Yeah. And then it isn't until we can reflect that we're like, you know what? That we may need something new for that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think our definition of war is limited to what we've experienced previously.
Yes.
Because I don't think what's happening in Gaza or Sudan are wars.
No.
But they use that word.
Yeah.
So
because anything that's just like the height of violence, they're like war. And that's just too generic.
Exactly. And for those of you who don't know, the Civil War was between the South and the North, and the South basically fought to keep slavery. I know I'm like just glazing over a lot of the context,
no, that's the crux.
But that was the crux. So this war, quote unquote, that we're in is ICE, which are, it just seems like it's Trump's or like this administration's private army, right? Would you consider this to be a militia type of thing? Maybe.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yes. And also during the Neptune and Aries era was the Emancipation Proclamation. And I can't say the word that you use for this, but it's basically, in my opinion, a performative sort of proclamation to free slaves. But it wasn't, Abraham Lincoln didn't actually free the slaves. It was more just a law that was performative, but they like this government didn't do anything in forms of reparations or integrating them into the system.
No, and I mean, he barely passed the 13th Amendment, and then he was assassinated 2 weeks after the Civil War, and any efforts that had been put forth, like Special Field Order 51, which was the 40 acres and a mule. And for the record, that wasn't for everybody. That was just like in a small part of the South. Even that got retracted, and they took the land back from folks, and then they put in the Black laws. So, you know, I will say this. Abraham Lincoln was forced by Black leaders to understand the value of Black people to his goal. And he saw that it was more valuable to have them free than enslaved. But I feel like he does a speech where he's like, y'all see them with guns, and now you rock with them now because you see them with guns. And he does. That's essentially what he says. And then he's like, y'all need to represent, because Black people, they deserve a right to pop off too. But as we know, all of these presidents are just basically actors. So they'll say what needs to get said.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. So also, if anybody has questions, you can pop them in the chat and Amanda can read them to me, but maybe that's for the end. Yeah. And then February 13th, Saturn will enter Aries. And again, we experienced this transit last year between like May and November. And Saturn is the planet of boundaries, borders, the authority, hierarchy. And it is a malefic planet, so it does bring challenges, but we need Saturn because Saturn in Greek mythology is Chronos, it's time. It's also a timekeeper in astrology. But Saturn is what's called in its fall in Aries. So Saturn as a planet is about patience and discipline and, doing something for the long term, whereas Aries as an archetype is like, let's do it now, and Aries is the archetype of
You are
war.
an Aries, right?
I am an Aries, yes. Which is why I push people, because I just don't think this is a time to be complacent or just like sitting back and waiting for people. Aries is about listening to reclaiming your inner authority instead of waiting for somebody to tell you what to do, or or waiting for somebody to give you the answers. It's like you have to have that self-initiative to be like, because I hear people asking me all the time, what should I be doing? And I'm just like, and maybe it's because I was a latchkey kid. Like I just figured out how to cook. I just figured out how to do things,
Yes. No, it's so real. I mean, my friend who does my newsletter, she was telling me yesterday that she told her daughter that they are now living in the 90s, and thus she has implemented some ways in which her daughter has to live in the 90s. So like she can't binge TV shows. She has to watch one show one night a week. And like, you know what I mean? Like what she's doing is she's quelling her instinct to get instant gratification, which is what I think also leads to people being like, tell me what to do. Because it's like you can just type into Google and it will tell you what to do. And it's like people then try and Google people. They treat people like they are a search engine. Tell me what to do.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I donate to a nonprofit in Kenya that pays for school for Kenyan children. And she was telling me that a lot of the curriculum is not to encourage thought. It's to encourage like a willingness to be led. And so she was like, when she would teach classes, like sometimes they would look at her crazy when she'd be like, what do you think? And they'd be like, lady, what's the answer? Tell us. And so I feel like I feel like in my epiphany of like wanting to do more with this show, I feel like what you're saying is what I'm trying to do, which is like, how do I bring the Aries out of people more? How do I speak more into people's Aries? And we're about to go into 20 years of fire.
Yeah. Yes. Well, people are going to be forced to, because the energy this year is a lot of fire and air, and it's going to be the year of the young fire horse, which there's just going to be a lot of momentum. And yeah, I think it's going to be an uncomfortable year for people if you are uncomfortable with change. So, okay, so on February 17th, we have our first solar eclipse in the Leo Aquarius axes. and a solar eclipse is a new moon. And this is at 28 degrees. So just remember that degree and put a pin on it for a moment.
Okay.
February 20th is sort of the biggest transit that astrologers have been looking out for. Saturn and Neptune will come together in a conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, and 0 degrees in the cardinal signs is a world point. So that is a really big deal. And then on March 3rd, there will be a lunar eclipse at 12 degrees of Virgo. So I just want to go ahead a little bit and show all of you can you see this? The chart of, so the inner ring is the United States natal chart. I mean, there's many natal charts, but most astrologers use the Sibley chart. And it's about the time when the Declaration of Independence was signed. And then on the outer wheel is the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. And so as you can see by the circles, the outer ring is when the Emancipation Proclamation.
I see what you're saying. So we're comparing the two.
Yes, because that's like by transit, right?
Yeah.
So you can see where I circled in this bottom half, the United States IC, or Imum Coeli, which is the roots of a chart. It's essentially like the most private section of someone's like natal chart is. And the United States has an IC of 1 degrees of Aries. And so at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, Neptune was conjunct the United States IC exactly. Yes. So something about like people's dreams and freedom was changing at that time, right? That was when this, Emancipation Proclamation. And then the opposite was Saturn in Libra, where Saturn has this exaltation conjunct the United States midheaven. And the midheaven in someone's chart is about their public persona, what they're known for. And the United States has a Libra midheaven, which is like the United States is known for supposedly fairness and justice for all, right? Mm-hmm. So that Saturn-Neptune opposition was the Emancipation Proclamation. And now February 20th, 2026, Saturn will be in Aries with Neptune on the United States IC. So now we're like completing that opposition, that cycle from that moment, if that makes sense.
What's the significance of completing the cycle?
Something about the United States Foundation is changing again.
Okay.
And it's rhyming with that Emancipation Proclamation chart time with Saturn and Neptune. And like I mentioned when I was speaking about Saturn and Aries.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, like I have a delayed reaction to everything Laura says about astrology. I have to run it a good 6 times through the processor. And then I'm like, oh!
Yes. But when you get it, I'm like, yes. We did it, Joe. We did it. We did it, Joe. But like I said, the Emancipation Proclamation with Saturn in its exaltation in Libra was sort of like, okay, we're just going to give them this law. Gosh, and you have
what I call that. I know you're not allowed to say it, but I call it the here nigga damn law.
Yes, but I couldn't say it.
So that's what you were saying earlier that you couldn't say it.
I was like,
what word is she saying that she can't say? Yes, these are the here nigga damn laws. Where they're just like, oh, here nigga damn.
Yes. Because Libra is about fairness, but it can oftentimes be like neutral or performative, right? And Saturn again is like, yes. And so
like trying to be liked by everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to remember what the context is here. We're talking about the United States of America. And so they're only out for their own interests. Like the United States system is working how it's designed, essentially. Yeah. It's working exactly how it was designed for them, but not for anybody who's not a white man.
Well, so I think the thing we also have to remember is that the United States was designed to carry out the greater goal of Zionist supremacy, which centers white men.
Whiteness. Yeah.
And, the same way that Britain was a tool as well. And that's why Britain and the United States were both used effectively to create Israel as like a home base for Zionism. And so like when we see the creation of the United States, we are told the Neptunian lie that it was created in the goal of revolution, of freedom, of self-identification, when it was really created in the pursuit of expansion of the very same folks that they were mad at, or that they claimed they were mad at. Like they were basically like, we don't want to be taxed by your banks, so we're going to start our own.
Yes. Yes.
Because slave owners owning slaves. I mean, it's slaves becoming slave owners.
Yes. And every empire needs a myth and a lore that people believe in.
Ooh,
and
lore.
the thing with Neptune is it's real, and you believe in something that's reality until you don't. And so that's why in the last couple of years, the United States was going through its Neptune opposition, because the United States has Neptune in Virgo. And for the last 14 years, Neptune has been in Pisces. People have been waking up.
Yes.
Waking up to the fact that, oh, the American dream is actually not a dream. You have to put in the labor. You have to put in the work. You have to be of service to the empire. So that's why people have been waking up in the last 14 years. And so now
that work as like somehow like moral, or like that's like that you serving empire is you doing the right thing, right? Like that's how it's been presented.
Yes. Yes. Because one aspect of like a shadow aspect of Virgo is being of service, and not necessarily sometimes for the better, like for the good of all, so now with Saturn in Aries, Saturn is in its fall. And again, my colleague and I were sort of commiserating on this and saying, this is actually good for us, like the people, because we need Saturn in its fall to collapse structures. And because again, Aries is not a performative sign. It's like, I'm doing this because this is the best for like myself. Hopefully we get out of the individualistic mindset of the United States, but like Saturn and Neptune coming together on the United States IC is for us a good thing, I believe.
Saturn and Neptune coming together on the United States IC is a good thing, because it destroys structures.
It destroys the foundation. It dissolves the foundation of the United States, and we get to shape what that looks like.
Yes,
but I don't think we're ever going to get ahead until we as a people, specifically white Americans, grapple with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people of Turtle Island and reparations. Like those two things. It's so true, because Saturn is also like, you reap what you sow. It is the god of the land. It's the scythe. Remember, it's the scythe. And Saturn is the god of the agriculture, of the land, and who literally tilled the land of the United States, built all the wealth of the United States. Like that has to be sowed in some way, So unless we as a people of the United States, specifically white Americans, again, I'm going to repeat it, we grapple with that and we all come together and say, this portion of the money that the United States has goes to the descendants of, chattel slavery and reparations for the indigenous people of Turtle Island. Like, I don't know how we can go forward, to be honest.
Well, it's a karma correction, right?
It is.
I mean, it's also that, like, it's an actual, like, karma correction. I'm sure it's very science, to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Like it's a level setter. It's a
law of physics.
It's a law of physics. It's a you know what it is? It's a controlled burn. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Like, and they have to see that the burning of their forest is for the greater good of the whole forest. And
Yes.
and you know, the problem with that though, to me, Laura, is that it's like it can't be forced upon. It's like when you try and date somebody and like you want them to change, but it's like if they don't want to change, nothing can be done. So then
Yeah.
it becomes like it can't be forced upon. And then I'm like, well,
Yep.
so if it can't be forced upon, then we're really just expecting all these white people to wake up, which is why I'm constantly like, white people who are woken up, you have to be like, it has to be like your literal
Mhm.
like purpose to wake up the white people around you, like sitting eating your Cheerios, like, okay,
Mhm.
what tactic are we going to deploy today?
Mhm. There was this thread on Threads that this like white woman was like, I'm calling upon Kali Ma and Yemeya. And I'm like, girl, stop calling on these goddesses. Talk to your white brothers, white fathers, white sons. I'm like, we don't need you to
Leave
call upon
them
these goddesses.
alone.
Leave them alone. Like, they're not even a part of your like pantheon of cosmology. I'm just like, talk to your problematic fathers, brothers. Like, that's your role. But
Not you hanging up the
oh
phone.
my God, I'm such a
She said,
little,
what would
I'm
the
such a little,
ancestors say? You said, boo. No. So click,
like,
no.
I'd be all up in those threads. But that's why I speak to people through the lens of spirituality and trying to explain to people that there is like an accrual, why can't I pronounce that word? Maybe it's my Asianness coming out. Accrual of karmic debt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
White people like have epigenetically inherited something. And so in order for you
Yes.
to clear your bloodlines and be the good ancestor, you have to be part of the solution.
It's the same way that like so many of us who are oppressed have intergenerational DNA, right?
Mhm.
Intergenerational trauma. There is no reason why white people would also not have the same effects.
Yeah. Yes.
Deal with it.
I
Saturn.
watched, I know you know Christina Brown, but I watched her video recently of like white people's epigenetics, and
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, white people used to eat black people?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
And then you're walking around saying, and
Mhm.
like use black people as like furniture, whatever. And then
Mhm.
you're walking around saying, I'm too scared. Like your
Mhm.
ancestors colonized because they thought they were entitled to.
Yeah. It's the same way like I watched a video the other day of this woman in Zimbabwe and they were asking her about, you know, who does she have any like servants? And she's like, yes, you know, I have servants, you know, and I'm very happy with the life we have made here in Zimbabwe. But it is in 1979, and she was like, you know, but I don't see why we would just hand it back over to hand it over to the Africans. I mean, after we have worked so hard to build our lives here, and everyone in the comments was like, stealing is not hard work. Like, stop calling stealing. We worked hard. Like, that's an unfair, disingenuous positioning of what you have done. Because
Mhm.
that's how Americans look at it. Like, we built this country up. No, you broke people down.
They also were just dirty. They brought diseases. Sorry, I know we're going off tangent, but like
Expected.
um so that so that is the Saturn and Neptune conjunction, and it's happening a month from now. So again, like these transits are longer cycles, but the exact is happening on February 20th.
Oh.
Yes, February 20th. So remember back when I said put a pin on the solar eclipse?
Yeah.
So the solar eclipse, which also is the Lunar New Year, because the Lunar New Year happens on the new moon in Aquarius every year. Is that also Ramadan? Is that also, I think Ramadan is
Maybe this year.
they I think it's the new moon. So this solar eclipse is happening exactly on the United States natal moon. And the moon in a nation's chart represents the people.
The people.
So us. So I
Okay.
do think that hopefully this portends to an awakening of some kind for us to like really organize, because there's a difference between activism and organizing. And I think we need organizing. Didn't Malcolm X say that we're not outnumbered, we're out
Yeah,
organized?
we're not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that is the solar eclipse. And oh, okay. So how are we doing on time? Should I keep going or
we're
should
here? This is the
Okay.
first show of the year. I have things to share, but ultimately we're here. And I knew that I didn't have a second guest today because I knew that this was going to be thorough.
Okay. Okay. Just let me know when you're like, okay, this is too much.
Well, that's the chat. I mean, because I'll sit here and do this with you all day. But considering that we have a high number of viewers and the chat is in the mix, I'm sure everyone is fine.
Okay, great.
You're very good at your job.
Okay, great.
And even though you're not employed.
On April 25th, Uranus will enter the sign of Gemini, and we also experienced this last year. So again, 2025 was like the preview of what were kind of these longer cycles. And both Neptune, Uranus, and including Pluto, these are outer planets. So these are like the generational planets. So Uranus and Gemini, so the United States has Uranus and Gemini in its chart, so it always like portends to war and also technological advances. So yeah, that's going to happen April 25th. On June 9th, I really wanted to add like a juicy, nice little transit for everybody to look out for. Venus.
Is that with this little mouth?
Yeah. It's like sexy time, juicy day. Okay.
Okay.
Because honestly, we need to like dance and make out again, because so many leftists are so depressed, and
I really miss making out. I'm so good at it. And I like doing things I'm good at. I really, I'm telling you, I don't even need to have sex. I just want a good
make-out sesh.
Yeah, like a make-out will carry me over for another 2 years. A solid make-out sesh. And I mean, even we can just be above the clothes. We can just be second basing and I would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still remember the nightclub days where you would just be dancing till 2 a.m. and making out with a stranger. I don't know if people do that anymore because of
the times
COVID
are different.
and the times are different, but
Venus, I did that in Cuba. It was a time.
It was a time.
Can I just tell a quick sidebar story?
Of course.
I walked into the club in Cuba and I spotted an individual and I turned to my homegirl Kiki and I was like, that one. And she was like, okay. And so we went about our lives and we were in the club for a good hour and a half. And then he came up to me.
Ooh, so you manifested?
I manifested it. And the club had all these different rooms. So it wasn't like we were just in the same space. I freaking manifested it. I was literally standing at the bar and then I turned to my right and he was right there. And I was like, hello.
Hello.
And man, that was a good solid. We made out on the malecón, on the wall.
Ooh, by the water?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Venus and Jupiter in Cancer sort of moment.
It was a time. I'll pull up a picture for you all, but continue.
Okay.
They like these types of things. It reminds them that, I've lived a life. I've lived a life, Laura. I've lived a life.
Yes. Oh, man.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm just thinking of life pre,
I know, pre all of it.
Yeah, pre all of awakening, because with awakening, you can't go back because you can't not see what you see. So I know
With
what you mean.
awakening, you can't go back. You
Yeah.
can't not see what you see. Yeah. Yeah.
Because now
Yeah,
you have a
because you
different
can't, because
you have a different framework of seeing everything, you know?
I mean, you also just like you're either choosing willful ignorance or you know what I mean? Because that's your only option. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are here at Fábrica del Arte con Ray, my husband, my Cuban husband. He's gonna come to America and find me.
Yeah.
Amanda, he's fine.
So we are here at Fábrica del Arte con Ray, my husband, my Cuban husband. He's gonna come to America and find me.
Yeah.
I've lived a life. Look at Laura's face, y'all.
Wait, I didn't realize he was also really good looking.
That was the requisite. Yes. That was literally the only thing it was based on.
Wow.
I wasn't like making out with his character. It was like, okay, you.
I wasn't making out with this character. Oh my God. Whoa. Wait, I love that this brought us to this side tangent because that's like a good visual of what you can manifest for this transit, y'all.
There you go.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Because I really feel like, Laura, like these people don't really understand that I was that girl. Like, because I really be in here with my glasses and my sweaters, and they don't understand. I was a hot girl. I was out here.
Why wouldn't they think that?
I don't know. They don't. They think I'm an auntie. They think that I'm just, wearing my glasses and teaching. They don't understand. I was in the world.
Listen, we're multifaceted women, okay?
Y'all have never seen Laura whine to some reggae, okay?
I was gonna say, when people see me out in the wild, they're like, wow, you're fun.
It was so irritating to me when people were like, I would never invite Amanda to a party. She's too serious. I'm like, what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we leftists, or what, I don't know what we even call ourselves, radical revolutionaries. Like, that's why I'm saying we have to shake our ass. We have to have fun, because these people are depressed, and then they start to project their own trauma onto people in the movement, lateral violence. So I think healing work and doing the internal work is part of this liberation movement. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a necessary part when you're literally, your opponents, when they say like the cruelty is the goal, like that's not just a catchphrase. That's literally what feeds these people. So like the same thing that you get, like we may get serotonin relief and endorphin release from seeing cute animals, or from dancing, or from being around our friends and laughing. They, in some twisted way, they get it from seeing pain. Why am I echoing? I don't know why. But they get it from seeing the misery of others.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's an actual tool against them, is not letting them make you miserable.
Yeah. I wanted to try this. I downloaded the slides, if that's okay.
Yeah, because if you bring them up as a PDF, you'll be able to see yourself and see me and all the things.
Okay, great.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh, it's processing.
Okay. I just wanted you to know, like, I'm not, like, the floor is yours.
I just uploaded them. Okay.
Not that echo is giving Galadriel. I could be the most powerful.
Okay. They're uploaded, but how come I can't see them? Oh, there they are. Okay. Yes, this is so much better. Okay, so Venus and Jupiter are the benefics in astrology. So when they come together in the sky, this is such a great day to manifest somebody to make out with, to grow something. Venus is the planet of our relationships, values, what we like want to invest in. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, knowledge, growth. And Jupiter is in its exaltation in Cancer. So this is a day I like had to highlight it to like launch something, do something that just is like, I mean, Amanda said she made out with someone by the water. It's like Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is also about nurturing and mothering and protection. So yeah, this is just a great day. And then June 30th, Jupiter will enter the sign of Leo. So again, we're having all of these planets sort of move to fire and air signs. And fire and air are complementary elements because you
They're
need
dry.
Yes, they're dry. You need air to grow fire.
Right. I'm just
And
trying to
so
think of my
your notes.
yes, my flashcards.
And then on July 4th, this is definitely a day to maybe be careful, because not only is it the 250th birthday of the United States, there's a Mars and Uranus conjunction in Gemini at 3 degrees. And Mars is the god of war. In Babylonian astrology, it was the god of death before Pluto came along. It is conflict, anger, action. And Uranus is the planet of revolution and change and revelation. So
Which was the planet you said that was of like technology and stuff?
Uranus.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So yeah, I personally wouldn't.
It's very V for Vendetta.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to me personally. I wouldn't, just from where it is in my chart, like I wouldn't go out to a public gathering per se. But everybody use your own intuition and free will. But I definitely think something is gonna pop off in the United States, so to speak.
Right. That's why you have the pew pew.
Yes, that's why I have the pew pew. So
someone asked death by technology, and what I get from this combo, Laura, is the like true implementation or like a real life demonstration of all the Palantir stuff that we've been hearing about, and all of the surveillance stuff we've been hearing about, like coming to a head in like a very real, like unable to be ignored kind of way. And I just saw that basically Tony Blair and Oracle, they are building a competitor to Palantir. So now there's going to be, because basically Larry Ellison is a partner with Palantir. And so because of his partnership with Palantir, because he tried to buy Palantir and Palantir was like, absolutely not. But then they let him partner with him. And so he has access because his AI modules have done all the work for Palantir, like have done all the AI work. So he has like all of the, I saw a video about this. So he has all of the like, basically the learning. He has all the knowledge of the building of the systems. And now he's partnered with Tony Blair. And so he's just giving it all to Tony Blair.
Oh.
But there's no honor amongst thieves. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, of course that would happen.
That's of course. Yeah. Yes. But on the other hand, this could be the United States, the people of the United States fighting back in some way, Wink, wink. Because I've already been seeing, I guess, like the what's it called? He's not a leader of the Black Panther Party, but he's becoming more present on social media. Have you seen him?
I literally have a video. Yeah, I think you're talking about this person right here. Hold on.
He's like walking around with a gigantic gun.
Oh no, that's a different brother actually, but I know exactly who he definitely was like Second Amendment rights. I have my gun.
And he knew all the, because the Black Panther Party knew all the laws, right?
Yeah.
And he literally was like section something something of the law code, and he had this gigantic gun, and he basically was like to the cops, y'all are, like, get out of here. We don't know what you're even doing here.
He was like, y'all are bitches. Get out of here. He was talking to two cops in Philly, and he was like, y'all are coons. Why are you here?
Look, I can't say those words.
I feel like you can say coon.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, well, I'll say it for you. Y'all are coons. And he was like, there's no reason for you to be here. Get out of here. And they were like, you have a nice day. He said, you have a terrible day. You have a terrible day.
Yes. Oh, such a good video. And that to me is Mars and Uranus. It's like the way that he was also just so quick with his words, and he was just like boom, boom, boom. And how he was just standing there with that gun. I was like, wow, that man has presence. That's Mars Uranus. It's also protecting the neighborhood, right? Because Uranus and Gemini is about protecting your own like smaller community. And yeah, that's like the best way to use this energy.
Oh, I found it.
I
have it. I love when I'm able to just pull up what you were.
I know. I love this. I love that you have all these like amazing clips to support my presentation.
It's just a real Scottie Pippen Jordan situation.
It was y'all. You don't like to be labeled in with slave catchers. You shouldn't have taken their whole sellout. You are a sellout. You wearing their shit. You are a sellout. You ain't protecting shit. You got to do whatever they tell you to, including hurt your people. Because you're walking up to me and I don't like you and I don't trust you and I don't got no conversation with you. So unless you're investigating the crime, leave me the fuck alone. I don't care. I got a gun license right here. This is legal. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108. Move your car out of people's way and get the fuck out of my face. Thank you, officer.
Have a good day.
You have a bad one. Sellout. Fuck out of here. You smiling for a sellout? You know where you came from? Slave catchers hired you to help catch their property, which was us. Slave catcher controls the origin of that bag, you bitch ass nigga. The fuck out of here. Go where you're needed. We don't need your help. Get out the fucking street. Like your supervisor said, get out the fucking street.
Let me just say something for those who don't know, because I do understand that there is a limitation of language, just out of respect for people. And I do pity that y'all are not able to use bitch ass nigga, because I don't know that there's any other, how they'll be like, there's no comparable word in the English language for this. Like, I don't know that there's any other comparable word for bitch ass nigga. Like, it's a very specific classification of individual. And I have not, there's no substitute for it. So, like I remember, like some of the worst arguments me and my man ever got into was when I would devolve into, you just being a bitch ass nigga. And that is worse than, like, I could say something about anything else, but that right there was like,
if I was that cop, I would have been crying.
He probably did cry in the car. He was probably in the shower in the cop locker room. Like,
like that video gave me, I watched it like 20 times. It gave me so much energy. I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Because it was also just so unwavering. Mm-hmm. Like, get out of here. It was very Black Air Force Ones, Black Tim's energy, and I sure as heck did make sure, and they did wear a Black Tim's, which made perfect sense. Like, it's a very particular type of energy. Also, what y'all don't understand is that Philly cats are really cut different. Like sometimes I think people just think like it's the United States. No, like there's different energies come from different places. Black men in Philly is a whole particular sector. I mean, WB Boys wrote like a whole book on it. Like, just like it's different.
I think Philly people are different. They're like on a whole different level.
Well, you also remember how old Philadelphia is.
True. It's OG colony.
Yeah.
State. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're just tangential. This actually is actually really helpful because it's letting me bring in like other content, you know, to balance, not balance, but to like even expound to expound upon what you're talking about.
No, I love it because it makes it less like I'm lecturing, but this is like a conversation, you know?
It's a happy medium. Happy
Happy
medium.
medium.
And then there's like Black Panthers just returning. You know, like Black Panthers are definitely starting to resurface. There's another brother I'm going to show y'all a little later on. Or actually, I mean, can I just show him now since we're on the topic of Black Panthers?
Do it.
This brother right here is, you know, because a lot of folks really only know about the Panthers in like a very kind of pop culture context. And I talk about the Panthers at length in What Would the Ancestors Say, giving more of an overview of the Panthers as an actual movement that for what people don't understand is that they were a movement that was effective. That's what folks don't really understand. And that is why they have been, you know, rendered like terrorists and put to the fringe. It's because they were effective.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us, and Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and blacks from all over the world working together to fight oppression. Again, the Black Panthers stood with the Mexicans, stood with the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, stood with the Japanese, the Vietnamese. The Black Panthers did a whole campaign to end the Vietnam War because they stood with Vietnam. So for you guys who are talking all of this gibberish about, oh, you guys aren't following traditions of the original, who do you think our leaders are? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther, right? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther who walked with Huey Newton. That's our leadership. And Billy Che Brooks, that was Fred Hampton's right-hand man. So you guys you sound stupid, you know, to be honest. You sound like you don't really know what you're talking about. Doing a lot of hooting and hollering and don't really know what you're talking about. If you watch Huey Newton's speech, he specifically says, we are not black nationalists. We are internationalists. And we stand with all oppressed people across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity is.
All power to all people.
And that's what it's going to take.
Let's get back on track. Well, we was already on track. I'm hoping people see though, and that's Chairman Paul Birdsong. You can follow him on the Instagrams. You know, there's folks who I really think have thought that the Black Panthers kind of like receded into, I don't know, just some little like club. And no, the Panthers are still going. And of course, they were suppressed. However, the call is out for there to be a return. And if you're looking for somewhere to find community and to find purpose, find out if there's a Black Panther Party chapter in your town. Mark Wayne is a whole white man, and he had that Panther beret on, y'all. And he was like, that's where I found my home, with the Panthers. So
weren't there like white Panthers?
Weren't there like white Panthers? Yeah. Which to me doesn't have the same ring to it. It feels very it feels very Sigmund and Roy, like Vegas. Like,
can I start the tigers, the yellow tigers?
Yes, I think there is. But I think there is the yellow panther. I think there is one.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, like, but tigers is like our.
That's Korean,
your thing. Our Korean animals. Maybe I'll
Bring
start the
out.
tigers.
Start the
I'll bring the tigers. Yeah.
Bring the tigers,
I'm gonna
because
start that chapter.
the White Panthers just feels like the name of like a Liz Taylor,
like a Temu version of the
perfume.
Black Panthers.
It just feels like a scent.
Yeah.
White Panther.
White Panther.
Oh my god! You know what it is? White Panther would be the scent for cougars. Like that's what they would market to cougars.
Yes.
All cougars wear White Panther. Big cat energy.
Oh my gosh.
The answer to the question, who was the man in the video? That is Chairman Paul Birdsong. I actually don't know what chapter he's the chairman of, though. I haven't been able to get there, but you follow him, Laura?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the same guy from the first video.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? I didn't give him all that height. That's the same. So it's Philly. It's Philly.
Yes. I started following him because I was like, who is this man?
Who is that? Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Paul Birdsong. I'm gonna get him on the show, right?
Okay. I was gonna say, please get him on the show.
I will be reaching out to him.
Yes.
So where do we leave off? We were
on Uranus and Gemini, and this is the Uranus return for the United States and Israel, because Israel was founded on May 14th, 1948. And so look out for a change of what's going to happen in Israel. And then this is also the Uranus return for Joseph Robert Biden Jr., Donald J. Trump, South Korea, Bernie Sanders, and the partition between India and Pakistan via the British. So all of these things that I just said have Uranus and Gemini. So something is going to change with these people and these places. And Uranus is like breaking apart. So I think the Uranus return of the United States is going to possibly break up the United States. I think I said that last year. And for Israel, they're trying to expand their borders, right? So
I think that's what's happening. I think Zionists are trying to break up the United States so that they can usurp it under the flag of Israel. Like they literally, when they're talking about like Donald Trump will be a third-term president, it's because I think that in their minds, they are going to literally dismantle the United States and instate a new country that he would be the president of. Mm-hmm. Like that's what they have in their minds. Mm-hmm. And they literally called him like the first Jewish president.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's his Uranus return too. So, and then, so that's Uranus and Gemini.
So I just want to say something here based on the research that I've been doing. It's not that the United States is trying to become the center of the world, because I think what folks are failing to understand is that none of the decisions that have ever been made have been made independently as Americans. They were made and funded by folks from Europe. And because we don't have that context, we are not seeing how, oh, my bad. Adrienne was talking about Israel. Carry on. I should have known that I was wrong. Yes.
She meant Israel.
Never wrong, so yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
How dare you?
Someone said, Amanda, you need to run the office. Do you see what's happening? There's not going to be no office to run for, y'all. Oh my God, you better run for your life.
Yeah. Somebody said that there's not going to be an election, and I really think that's true.
There's not.
Yeah, there's not going to be an election.
I saw someone say yesterday, like, we have 3 more years of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. How? It's only been 1 year. Mm-hmm. How can you think that this is going to end in 3 years? Mm-hmm. Keep talking. I need some chocolate.
Can you put up the slides again? Because I can't see where we are. Okay, she walked away. So after I said Uranus and Gemini, let's see, where are we? Oh, I said Mars and Uranus conjunction in Gemini. And then, okay.
Oh, you needed me. Damn it.
Yes, I needed you to, thank you. Okay, and I didn't know if you wanted me to keep going without you here. Okay, so just to go to the actual transits of this is the chart for the Venus and Jupiter conjunction on June 9th, 2026. And as you can see, the United States also has Jupiter and Venus in its chart. So how they are using this Cancer stellium is the shadow aspect of Cancer is like homeland and protecting our borders and nationalism. Because the United States is using Christian nationalism as its like, you know, I don't know.
Like its banner.
Yes, thank you. It's banner. It's like it's a way of saying like we have to protect our home. We have
It's
to.
call to arms. That's what
Yes.
it's like.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So then that means that the United States is going through its Jupiter and Venus return. So I think they're using it more to, you know, expand their borders, to recruit people to ICE. ICE was created in March of 2003, the same month, same year the US invaded Iraq. So it is the imperial boomerang. So anytime the United States goes abroad and does its like imperialism there, at the same exact time the United States enacts it on their people. It's not even like we have to wait like a month for the boomerang. It's like it happens at the same time. So that's what's going on there. But I think individually you can think about using this transit, you know, to engage in community and to make relationship, to fortify and invest in relationships. And again, this is going to be one of the things I suggest. And this is one of the transits I would suggest you start, or I mean, you should be starting already, but maybe you can do some sort of action or community care thing on that day. And then this
And
is
which
the
day is
day,
this again?
June 9th, 2026.
Community care. Okay.
Mm.
So
Some healing event.
Seal Squad, let's mark that on our cal, June 9th, as a day that we will either get together digitally or physically. So let's just put that on the cal, Amanda Landers and Seal Squatters. So let's like mark it.
Wait, I love that. And it could even be like a healing event, like a sound healing event, or something that's maybe you don't even have to like talk, but you're together and you're doing an activity together.
Can we do like a what do they call it? Like a silent disco? I've never been to a silent disco, but I really feel like I would enjoy it.
Oh my God, you would love it. It's really fun. And also everyone has like different options. So some people are like dancing to different music. It's really cool. Okay, so this is July 4th. So again, this is the Independence Day of the United States, the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And as you can see in the United States natal chart, it has Mars and Uranus in Gemini natally. So this will be the Mars-Uranus return. And returns in astrology is essentially like when the planet comes back to the position it was at birth. Okay, So we're almost through. Thank you all
And
for being
why?
here.
And why? Just one more time. Why
Sure.
is the return such a moment of impetus?
Because it signals like a rebirth or like a new beginning. You know, in everything in nature, the life cycle, there's a death and then there's a rebirth. And so when, like, if you think about your birthday, a birthday is a solar return. That's when the sun goes back to its position at birth, right? So you do, and I think it's funny that people are like, I don't believe in astrology. Well, you blow out a candle, right? The fire element of the sun, you make a wish, you set an intention, and you like start a new year.
Wow, you just really upended a lot of people's nonsense. You blow out a candle, it's a fire element, it's a solar return, cut it out.
Yeah.
So when you said so when you said that I'm having like a full moon moment, that is because it's a completion like that I'm having in real life.
A full moon moment is when the sun is opposite the moon, and so there's like the two luminaries in astrology. When they're opposite each other, there's like you see something very clearly. Something is like apparent,
Undeniable.
undeniable. And then so with that undeniability, you choose something, you change course, you change direction.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all
Exactly.
obstacles in my way. Okay.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
like it's very like now I can't unsee. There's a path.
There's a path.
Oh my gosh. No pressure.
No press. No press. And then on August 12th, there's a solar eclipse in Leo. August 28th, there's a lunar eclipse in Pisces. I'm just kind of going through these just so people can have these dates, but I'm not necessarily going to go in depth. August 31st, I really like because Jupiter in Leo will trine Saturn in Aries in two fire signs. And Jupiter and Saturn are the timekeepers of astrology, and they're finally coming to an exact trine. And this is a great day to like forge something that you're growing for the long term. And I really like this day to do something creative, creatively express yourself. Okay, so then the last transit of 2026, I was going to say 5, oh my gosh, is between October 3rd and November 14th. There will be a Venus retrograde between the signs of Scorpio and Leo. And all retrogrades are reflection and sort of doing an audit of all the Venusian things. So Venus rules things like our value, our self-confidence, our relationships. So during the fall, we're all going to kind of go into that era where we're like, okay, what are my values? What and how do I want to invest my money and my time? And are the people in my life currently aligned to those things?
I'm just taking it off the screen so you can lean into this a bit more.
Okay.
Because I want people to really hear what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, when you listen to some astrologers, they're going to say, "Oh, your ex is going to maybe pop up from the past or you know, you're going to go through a breakup." And I think it's true, but I think the crux of a Venus retrograde is to check your values. And like it's so simple to think about, like we have a finite amount of time, and money is the currency that currently we all need, right? We still live in capitalism. So how do you want to use the finite time and money that you have, and who do you want to spend your time with? And I think this is important because, again, the 3 suggestions that I'm going to have is all sort of like about this Venus retrograde too. So I have, I think the last slide is, okay. So I have 3 remediations for 2026, and remediation in astrology is like how you address the challenging planetary placements or transits. It's about taking conscious action by engaging with the planet's themes. So I'm not an astrologer that's like I'm not like bury your head in the sand or oh, I can't wait till this transit leaves. No.
Okay.
Like everything in life, there's going to be an expansion and a contraction. There's going to be a death and life, a rebirth. There's going to be light and dark. And I'm sorry not to be that person, but who said that life's going to be easy? Like,
listen, Coldplay said, nobody said it was easy. I mean, no one ever said it would be this hard, but we'll take it back to the start.
Literally. So like when you go to a Vedic astrologer or a Chinese astrologer, this is why I like the Asians, because literally they'll be like,
this is part like the Asians.
No, because literally they'll be like, this is bad luck, but this is how I can help you. And so in like Chinese astrology, that's why they use like amulets and they feng shui and like acupuncture to help remediate some of these like difficult astrological things, right? So my 3 remediations for 2026, I tried to keep it very simple, very high level. The first one is connection. Now, connection to self first and foremost. That means doing the inner healing, connecting to the divinity within you and your ancestors, and to elevate your consciousness. Because what I see a lot of in activist spaces is people don't commit to their own self-growth and healing. So then they perpetuate these very trauma patterns that we're trying to break.
Yeah.
And
I can attest to that. Like myself.
Yes.
Like I had to check myself about that. Like literally I was just feeling very emotional this morning, and it was like I feel like I am gonna allow myself to get stuck if I don't challenge myself to be more active outwardly with the divinity work that I've been doing inwardly. And like, how does that show up? Like, it would have been really easy yesterday when I heard that like Joel Santana said he like literacy doesn't make sense. Like, it would have been really easy to do a video about like how dumb that is, because that's like obvious, right? But that's not divine. Like, you know, like even in What Would the Ancestors Say, when I was doing the show as a one woman show, I was leaning into just like the low hanging fruit of like Clarence Thomas is whack. So we're like making jokes about that. And then I realized like, no, if this is going to be a useful tool with art, you have to give a deeper exploration to how he became whack, because the goal is about redemption, right? The goal is like, how do we redeem ourselves? How do we course correct? And even if it's not possible for him, how do you use his story as like a path for others to see through?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh my God, 100%. And like, we're all such multifaceted, multidimensional people who have an origin story. We have our villain era. We have our traumatized era. And so I think, you know, that's why I always try to give people a chance, because you never know like at what point of a person's journey you're like meeting them at.
Yes.
And that's why I think like K-pop Demon Hunters, it's about Korean shamanism. It is like each and every one of us has a demon inside of us. And it's not to like pretend that it's not there, but to transmute that part of us and allow the whole of us to shine. Like that was like the crux of that movie.
It's very Carl Jung.
Yes, like very Carl Jung.
I think there's also just the reality of thinking that you can shun something and it's going to go away is not actually how anything works.
No.
And that goes for you as a person too. Like when I think of like what was my villain era, I'm like, I feel like my villain era was when I was letting my trauma rule me. Right? So like I am doing the whole like, I have an opinion and I'm going to say it, even though it's like not even really thought out. Like it's mean. It's just, you're just being mean. But that's my trauma talking. And so now, like, when I get to this point, I can recognize in other people, like, you think that's an opinion. You're just being mean. Like, and you know, maybe sit with that. Like, why does that feel like a thing that you need to do? So I love this. And by the way, I mean, no pressure, but like, this right here is a framework that I could build my whole 2026 off of.
Yes.
Like this right here. So y'all don't think I just be having guests on because like I'm cool with them. No, it's people that actually like this right here is because like it's just such a, okay, tell me if you agree with me on this. I feel like the need for like super clarity and direction has just become more and more necessity.
100%.
Okay.
Like we were talking through Instagram DMs that like the power of our minds and the ability of manifestation, we just as a collective haven't come together. If we all sync our minds, and because what you focus on expands, right? And if everything and everywhere is already created in the quantum realm, then we can literally all be on the same synced page and have the clarity of vision of what like we want to see. And it's just that. I know people like, you know, are listening to this, if they haven't come on this journey yet, they're like, what the hell is she talking about? But but if we can manifest on the individual level, we can also manifest in the collective level. And that's what we've been doing, but we've only been manifesting the trauma and the violence and the you know, the trauma patterns from our past. That's why I keep calling it trauma patterns, because we haven't known anything else. And so that's why number 3 is creativity. Like we need to use our imagination and our ability to be so delusional that there is a timeline that is emerging, because timelines are working all at the same time, but we can't see it yet. We're all focusing our attention on the death of this thing. We're all focusing on like the ice raids and the bombing, but that is the death. That's the physical manifestation of a death of empire. But there's something else emerging that we also have to focus our attention on and start creating the structure, Saturn, the structure to let it emerge. Like,
no, because this is the epiphany I had this morning. Literally, like it sounds like I'm like holding on to my bun, because this was the epiphany I had this morning. I realized that like I was in that space of just like the reporting on and the responding to the things of the now. And it's not to say that there isn't any efficacy or necessity for that, but Amanda, that's not my space. Like I'm actually, I feel like far more useful in the imagining and the building of something else, because ushering, as an artist, the ushering, like as an artist, as a leader, as a visionary, like that's where my real capabilities and gifts, like I'm smart, so I can do this other thing, but my gifts, like my supernatural gifts, are in taking something from nothing, making something from nothing.
Yes.
And actualizing. Like someone said to me the other day, like, you are the most actualizing mofo I've ever met. Because I'll be like, oh, I want to do it. And now it's done. Y'all said you wanted an Amanda Land Summit, and you got an Amanda Land Summit. But that, I just feel so full hearing you say that, because I think a lot of people need to hear that, to also give them permission to not be fully consumed by all of the now. Because there's, I think, there's a guilt that I think some people have about like, okay, but can I look forward? And it's like, yes, that's also a part of understanding the now.
Yes. But that's why it's important for people to grieve. You have to grieve what was and continue to do that transmuting process. That's why this is deeply spiritual work, because you can't move forward if you haven't grieved the past. So for those of us who've done that work for the last 2 years, it's our responsibility to hold the vision for the future that people don't see yet. Like there's the prophetic people that can already see that. And I feel like I'm one of those people. Like I'm already living in a timeline that's like... Not,
she says this all the time.
I say this all the time. I'm like, Amanda, my consciousness is like 10 years from now, and it looks great. We just have to, and then I come back to this timeline. I'm like, okay, people, like this is what we got to do, you know? And so we need people. We need
Loracle behaviors.
Literal. Oh my God, I love that. We need those people who are the death doulas of empire. Like we need the people who are in this moment, right? We need those people. Everybody has a role. And then we need the people who are ushering in and focusing our attention. That's why we need to share our ideas.
Yes.
Like, what do you see? What does it feel like? This is all a part of like manifestation, but we have to collectively do it now.
I'm definitely having a gathering in my house.
Number 2, which is like something that I always hesitate in talking about, is community, because being in community is not easy, by the way. Everybody
I've been trying to figure out how to text somebody for like 4 days now. Who's in my community? I've been trying to figure out what to text them for 4 days.
Yes, everyone says it online, but then when I meet them in person, I'm like, you're a terrible villager. What are you talking about? Like,
you're a terrible villager is not.
What I say. No, I say that. I'm like, you're a terrible person. What the hell? I think community really is a commitment to self-growth and self-awareness, and having conflict resolution. 90% of people I meet are conflict avoidant. And so you cannot be in a community if you avoid conflict. I'm sorry. Like, so community and being in one is probably the most difficult thing, but we need that to organize, you know, like and maybe you need different pockets of community. Like I have tiers and I have like different kind of communities. You have your community that you like sort of like ideate with and dream with, and you have the one that where you do like direct actions with, you know, you have ones that are like your immediate community, like your neighbors who you can call upon. So these are 3 things everybody can focus on for 2026, because based on the astrology, this is what we the people can do. Okay. So there's like this moment in July. Sorry, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say something before you go on to like the culmination of this. By the way, Olivia,
Okay.
check your DMs in Patreon. You often say art will save us.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I think you started to say it, like art gets us to think creatively, right? It brings us out of our current not situation, but like it allows us
off the
to
grid.
Yes. And that's why artists are so important. That's why they defund arts first. They defund music first, right? Because for us to imagine something outside of these systems is dangerous. And so that's why I think art will save us, because like the antithesis of that is a colonial mind, which is like all of us being the same thing, all of us being beige, all of us thinking the same way. Yeah, Crate and Barrel, or what is that other one?
Pottery Barn?
Pottery Barn, thank you.
It's a Crate and Barrel Pottery Barn aesthetic. Like the fact that everything is white and the diversion is cream. Right, cream and beige. Like, if you've been to my house, well, you all have seen my house. It is defiantly anti Pottery Barn. And in Grenada, the homes are literally like every color of my shirt. And it feels, even on such a basic level, as like a strike back at colonialism, that they're like, we're going to paint these houses every freaking color possible, and there's not going to be any order to this. You know, Herbie Hancock, I met him one time, and I've talked about this before, but I'll reiterate it because it really aligns here. When I met him, I said something pretentious, like, you know, just everybody isn't an artist. And he was like, everybody's an artist. And I was like, like, what do you mean? And he said, everybody has the ability to create. Like, that's part of the human design. And we are creative in many ways. Sometimes people have to be creative because they have a lack of, and so there's necessity breeds innovation. Sometimes people are creative because they have an imagination and they want to see things happen. Sometimes people are creative because they can see things working in ways that others aren't. So he was like, you know, engineers are creative, visual artists are creative, pianists are creative. He's like, creativity and in the human form takes on many forms. And when I listen to what you're saying and I look at how all of these things combine, it's like, I feel like what I'm seeing is, oh my God, where'd we go?
The last one? Mm-hmm.
Connection, community, and creativity like have to merge.
Yes.
Like community being connected in a creative vision of what is possible.
Yes. They're all like the Venn diagram. They're all interconnected. Essentially. Yeah. Like a place where you could start is like, what is your art practice? Because like, I think when people hear creativity, they think of it so literally, like I'm painting.
For the record, Laura's an incredible artist. I just want to make that clear because that's not been put out there.
Thank you. And it just is, you came here on Earth at this specific moment in history, all of us did, to create something. And you are just the physical vessel to channel that, which is your responsibility to find the medium for, you know? So like all of us, some of us. Say that again? So I just got that download. Okay. I don't know if okay.
Okay. I think that what you were saying, like, tell me if I'm saying what you're saying. You were brought here for whatever reason, and your time here is establishing and understanding that reason and putting it into reality, putting it into action.
Yes. So you came here as a spiritual creative being, because we are all creators, on this specific time in history to be the vessel for that thing that you're creating, but it's your responsibility to find the right medium. So for some people it's music, for some people it's podcasting or art, literally film, it's creating children, literally, or like whatever it is, like your responsibility is to figure out what your thing is.
Can we get in the woo-woo box real quick?
Yes, the woo-woo box.
The Gaia theory is that, I think I've texted this to you before. Y'all need to know that Laura's my one friend that I can text. I can text Laura anything. It doesn't matter how woo-woo it is. And she'll be like, absolutely. Or she'll be like, well, I think. And I appreciate you for that. And I'm very happy that I found you.
Thank you.
The Gaia theory is that Earth is an ecosystem that is like self-healing, self-everything, which, by the way, is how you know Earth is feminine, because like the vagine is self-cleaning, for the record.
Yes.
So the Gaia theory, which I agree with, is that everything on Earth serves a purpose to continue the growth of Earth, to continue the existence of Earth, to continue the expansion of life, right?
Yes.
Like that's the goal. And so in that context, it's like, well, if we are here as physical beings that are in direct correlation with the Earth, like we breathe the air that plants give off, and plants breathe the air that we give off, right? So we're in direct connection with it. Then we have, like every other aspect of Earth, a purpose in the expansion of Earth and life on Earth. And so to your point, it's like, what is that, right? And what is the human version of that is enacted and done differently than necessarily like leopards or turtles, etc.? Because every animal has a purpose in the ecosystem except for humans at this point in life. Indigenous people knew that.
That's true.
Indigenous people knew, like, oh, my purpose here is to do XYZ. You know, like we're supposed to do this. Every animal has a purpose in the ecosystem. Not one of them can you be like, oh, they made a mistake with the mosquito. Like they all serve a purpose. What is ours is an individual journey as well as a collective journey. And I think what we're seeing right now is a lot more awakening to the collective awareness that we've had a lack of awareness about that. And that colonialism is what created it.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we solved it. So
we did it. We did it.
So, you know, go forth, guys. Because every time I think for a second, even just for a moment, every time even if I just think for a moment, like maybe we're just here to die, like maybe we're just here, like maybe there's no real purpose to this, like we're just here as best as beings, and we die. Then I see something or hear someone say something that's like, nope. Because I sent Laura a video last night where this scientist is essentially like, we are all like, we're made of cells, and every single cell in our body has the same knowledge as the other cells. So he was like, you can't refute that as a like very important aspect to understanding like our like role as something greater. And I'm not going to play the video yet because I know you had things to say, but I just wanted to.
Oh no, it's okay. Well, no, that's why I think to be a colonizer, if we're talking about aliens, okay, I think
Let's do it. You just made a bunch of people in the chat very happy. Like, finally, we're getting to the aliens.
They're already here, first of all. Second of all, I think there's different types of aliens, and I think because we're all interconnected literally through our cells, and we have mirror neurons, to be able to colonize and rape and pillage somebody, like people, you have to be so disconnected to your soul and your body. So I think like if we're tracing back the origins of colonization, I think that first one was an alien, like not of this earth, basically.
Listen, so one time me and comedian Sam J, we were having brunch at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas. By the way, guys, I was a whole stand-up comic for 13 years. Hilarious. So we were at brunch and she was like, these white people are aliens, man. And I was like, expound. And she was like, yeah, because I mean, how is it that they're the only ones that the sun be messing up? It just be messing them up. And she went on this whole rant about it. And then she ended up putting it in a special that she did on HBO. But I've never forgotten it because it started as her just having a conversation with me. Like, I don't know, man. It's not adding up. Like, how do people just don't care? Like, that, it don't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Like, to your point, when I see behaviors in certain folks, I'm just like, that doesn't feel human. Like, I don't feel like that feels like you are the descendant of something other than, and then it's like, cause it just, and maybe Laura, maybe we're just saying this cause we don't want to believe that humans can be bad, but I also like to believe that there's really no limitations to what you can believe.
Yeah, but also okay, yeah. I do believe in the alien thing too, but also I do believe in dark energies, and people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, like Peter Thiel, Donald J. Trump. Like I do think you give up your soul in exchange for power. And I do think there's something to that too.
Well, they're all part of like cults, you know, and organizations that are ancient and that have practiced the cult. We know. So let me just say something that's not woo-woo. People are going to think it's woo-woo, but it's not. The earth is power.
Yes.
The earth is magnetized. Like the earth is an actual functioning, it is emitting power all the time. So the idea that there are people who have been able to harness that power is honestly, the idea that people look at that as like some crazy notion is stupid to me. There's power in plants, which is through the power of plants. Like there's electromagnetic power. Literally, they've done a study that like tribal elders in, I think it was the Lakota tribe. I'm always like, I think it was the Lakota tribe. Like they did a test between like rain dances and like seeding the clouds, and the rain dances were more effective at creating the rain because when they actually like got to the bare bones of the electromagnetic, the people had like traditions had cultivated over time an ability to understand what rotations and formations that they need to be dancing in to whip up the electromagnetic power of the earth. Right? So like none of this is subjective, you guys. Like this isn't like, oh, Amanda, she's out of here. Like, no, this is just the facts. That's we also have seen it, like windmills, hydropower, all of this is using the power of the earth. So if we see all of that, and then we know that, then we know that there are people who can use that for ill.
Oh, well, they were like psychics that were named in the Epstein files. Like they used these psychics to do remote viewing, to do some sort of like, you know, spells and witchcraft. So yeah, of course. I don't know why we're,
you know, like because people love to like keep themselves safe because they don't know that power, but the power is there. And I just feel like the trick of these folks has been to convince us that we don't have access to that power for good.
Yeah.
Yes, there's also electricity in our bodies. Like our bodies are literally electric. It's electric.
Yes.
Boogie, woogie, woogie. I was doing my 20 minutes of movement because I do 20 minutes of movement every day now. And this morning I was doing my 20 minutes of movement and I was electric sliding by myself. And when I tell y'all, I was having
a ball.
The cats and the dog were like,
they're all staring at you like,
yes. Jordy was literally just sitting on the couch like, you enjoying yourself? I'm like, ooh. So, you know, that's why like when people like poo-poo on astrology, I'm like, you're missing the point. Anything that colonizers have rendered as nonsense, you should be learning.
Because they're using it on you. So
yes.
Yikes. I love when people are like, don't bring politics into this. I'm like, well, politics is doing you, honey. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. All of it is like someone said, like Rolando said Bible here. Like there's astrology in the Bible. Like all over the place.
All over the place. That star that the three magi followed, what do you think that is?
Just so correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments. This is going to be a quick dovetail. After the Magi gave the gifts, did they just bounce? Because I'm just wondering how you show up with gifts to a manger and none of those gifts can actually help you like get a better crib, right? Because like maybe gold, but like who knows if they even use gold in that part of the world? And like, so like after you see me in this manger, you bounced. You didn't say like, yo, y'all, let me see, because we're also like the Magi, they're nomadic, but like that means they got a whole squad. I just find that part of the story is just. And then I read something the other day, Laura Chung, that said the story of Jesus and all of that was in 8 other religions prior to Christianity. The whole setup, the whole birth, the whole situation was the cornerstone of 8 religions prior to the birth of Christianity. So it was just like,
oh, like the same exact story with the same people.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just like, that part of the story as a kid was always like, so hold up, away in a manger, no room for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head.
Yeah, well, they were like fleeing. They were like, hey, they're gonna kill us.
But then the Magi popped up and left them there, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe the Magi, you know, how we interpret the Magi in astrology are the magicians. Like they're people who study astrology and they, you know, that's why they followed the star. So I don't know if they had real power at that time. I know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I just feel like if you're rolling up with gold, you could get another house, another crib in the inn. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These are the types of things as a child I was very disturbed by. I could never get past that. And
Yeah,
that's when
like
I
the
knew,
math was not mathing.
no, and that's when I knew, like, oh, this is allegory. This
Mhm.
isn't, maybe they just envisioned these three folks popping up because
Well,
who would just leave this baby here?
I studied the historical Jesus, like outside of the Bible, and like
Mhm.
that, the three magi were actual people, you know. But yeah, I could see
And
how
also,
that's confusing.
we never got teenage Jesus.
Hmm.
We never got teen Jesus. We got teen wolf. We
Mhm.
got teen witch. We
Mhm.
never got teen JC.
Mhm.
And
Someone
I
write a
just feel,
fan fiction.
write a fan fiction, make the apostles have matching jackets. I mean, I'd actually watch that. Like, you know, I'd actually watch that. Like, the Lion's Den is really like, is more, it's like he gets trapped in like the locker room of the like opposing team and their mascot is the lions.
Mhm.
And so he has like a really deep conversation with like the mascot. Like, I can do all
Mhm.
of this, y'all. I can do this for days. Like, Daniel's over there. He's like, Daniel, what happened? He's like, oh my God, the lions. So I don't know how we got here. And I'm not even worried about it. But is there anything else that you would like to impart to us, the brilliant
Mhm.
Laura Chung?
Well, does anybody have questions? I guess, yeah, just like I went over the dates of 2026. So you want to mark those dates in your calendar, think about how you want to use those energies. Again, like remediation is to use the planetary energy in a conscious way versus just like hiding away and being like, okay, I'm just gonna bury my head in the sand for the rest of 2026. And those three things I suggested for you to cultivate, so connection, community, creativity, and yeah, that's,
All right.
I
Well, we're
guess,
waiting on some
TBD.
questions.
Okay, I guess TBD until like 2026 actually starts to unfold.
Is there anything about this year that you want people to really see as like, that you want people to really change their relationship to? Like, for instance, I love when you talk about that. It's like it can be a challenge versus a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just like speak to that a bit more? Because we're entering challenging times.
Yes.
And I really like your perspective on that.
So I teach astrology, right? So there's this thing in astrology called essential dignities where it is based on a colonial language, because you have to think about when astrology was founded through ancient times, there was such thing at that time still of slavery and colonization, right? So the language is very colonial. We talk about rulerships, planets that rule certain signs, and then planets that are in detriment or exile. And I always say, like, I use this as a metaphor for like planets that are in rulership. So let's say Saturn is at home in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. I don't like to use language of like good or bad or negative or positive, but maybe better resourced. So planets in their domicile are like white Americans in America, right? The systems, they are entitled because the systems also support their identity, right? And then planets in their exile, so that's like Saturn in Leo and Saturn in Cancer. They're challenging because, like immigrants to the United States, they don't know the language, they don't know the traditional rules and culture. But what makes immigrants so unique is they're creative. And I just look at my parents as like immigrants to this country. They came here without knowing the language in their early 20s. Yes, they had to work harder because they had to work in New York City in their early 20s, but they are the most resilient, creative, funny people to me. And because I ask my parents all the time, I'm like, are you not scared of like what's going on? And they're kind of like,
I know, it's fascinating.
Americans have no idea what we left, the country that we left, like, you know? And so when I look at them, I'm like, oh, they're just like, yeah, like just creative. So I think when there's a difficult transit, you want to look at it as like the grain of sand against the pearl. It's like annoying, maybe. It's a little challenging. You're a little uncomfortable, but in the end of it, you're going to be the best version of yourself at that, the most conscious, maybe. And that's why I say, like, don't turn away from feeling uncomfortable or the challenges, because, like, you could be one transit away from becoming the best version of yourself. And then when you're able to sort of stand up and face your fears, you are invited onto shows like Amanda Land, like I would never have made it this far if I just stood in the sidelines and remained silent. It's because I was outspoken about Palestine. It's because I continue to show up that people trust me enough to invite me on, and it helps me to do my own mission here on earth. So that's my little pep talk.
So we do have some questions. I do want to say, though, that we had the dovetail we went on was because you were like, I believe that the aliens, I believe that the first colonists were aliens. And that
yeah. Sorry.
I was like, how did we get here? Oh,
that always happens. I always go on a side quest. Sorry.
Those are the best. Those are the best. Okay. Hamid asked, since 2026 is so fire sign heavy, how are the movements going to impact and position air, earth, and water signs?
How are the movements going to impact and position?
I think position is a typo, but I think he's meaning like, how are they going to impact the other signs? Like,
oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you know your rising sign and you have a fire or air sign, then the energies of this year are going to be more conducive for you. They're going to help you feel more energized. They're going to help you feel more like, oh, I have momentum behind my sails. Whereas like the last 3 years, there was a lot of water in the air. So that was actually helping the water and earth signs.
For rising.
For rising and placements. And so water and earth are feminine signs. This was about like coming into oneself, to do the healing work, to be more still, to do, grief work, and to, be more in the feminine energy. And now these are the years for the fire signs to go out there and take action. So if you're an earth and water sign, the next like 3 years are going to be more, I think all of us are going to have to take action, but maybe for you, it's like different, right? So it's not so outwardly, but maybe it's more like internal, working with some of your fears around speaking up, perhaps, challenging some of your limiting beliefs or calcified belief systems. So everyone has to do that work, but yeah.
I've been dancing with the idea of teaching what I would call a course on confrontation.
Ooh.
And it would be like a course that addresses confrontation, like in historical and current instances, like within geopolitical, like challenging, as well as looking at that with ourselves and like asking folks to then do self-exploration about what they have been avoidant around.
Ooh, that's such a good one. Yes.
And then the third part would be role playing.
Yes, that's very important.
So this is something I've been like toying with, and I see people in the chat like, yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, sir. More food, sir. Please, sir. Because I do, you said something earlier and you said it just now, that confrontation is definitely contextualized as negative. We know why, because they want a passive populace. However, it's also at the reality, though, is that we have been trained not to be that.
Oh, we've been trained to be obedient to the system since we were kids.
I mean, this is why I've been getting in trouble all my life. I never get in enough trouble to get like, I've only been disobedient, but I've never been like a ruffian. But teachers either love me or were like, who is this this broad? And it's like, I'm 7. I'm 7. Relax. Okay. X-Ray Dove asks, do you have a response when people claim quote unquote new age practices like astrology and yoga are of the devil? I have family members thinking I'm a dark because
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you.
We're laughing with you.
We're laughing with you. It's so funny that is the response, because all of our indigenous practices have cosmologies. Like I happen to practice the Western tropical system, but like I guarantee your ancestors had their own way of looking at the stars and a system that was demonized, because again, they demonize it because it breaks our connection to the natural cycles.
Yep.
You know, so like for me, astrology was really to help me break free of the system of capitalism and how they impose their timelines and all of this stuff onto you. And you're just like, wait a minute, why is it late? Like, as a 40-something woman, like, why are they telling me that I'm a geriatric person? It's like,
right.
When in astrology, after the age of like 44, you're actually rising in your life, you know, like, so yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes, they're called annual perfection years. So 44, 45, 46, 47, 40, they're like you're at the top of your chart. So yeah, but then you have like these people being like, "Oh, you're too old," and you know, and you're just like, "Shut up." No, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're like, "You're not that girl." And I'm like, I'm more that girl now than I ever was.
Literally. That's why you see like mid 40 women, like now they're divorcing their husbands, now they're having their like crash outs, because you're told since you're young to center men, center marriage, serve your family, do all these things. And it's like, wait, who said? Like, who said?
I have a homegirl who does like a podcast with other women, and they did an episode about divorce because one of the women on the podcast is getting a divorce, and they had a divorce lawyer. No, they had a notary on a notary on, and she was like, I cannot stress to you all how my business is booming because so many women are getting divorced.
Yeah.
She was like, that's literally why my business is booming, is because I keep getting called to come and do notary services for divorce papers and for filings and whatnot. And it's something, the percentage is nuts. It's like it was 30% 5 years ago, and now it's 60%. Like it's something bazonkers, and it's all women.
Yeah. I 100% believe it, just from my own like friends and family. Did I answer that question, by the way? The person that asked that question?
You did, but I mean, I feel like you didn't give like a specific quippy, like, well, which you are capable of doing.
Well, I did say that they demonize these practices to cut us off from our own like practices that connect us back to ourselves and nature.
I think it's also just something to be said about, like, if they really want to have a conversation, like, what do you think you're doing when you're praying? You're meditating. Praying is meditating. And at the end of the day, if you have a Jesus that a lot of people are religious, but they don't, it was handed to them. So they don't know necessarily like where it came from. So they're studying someone else's belief system versus cultivating their own. But I think the answer to them is mind your business.
Yeah.
I think that's really the mind your business. And when they say new age, your very basic response can be, everything I'm doing is older than everything you're going to study on Sunday.
Literally.
That's your quick and dirty.
Literally.
Rolando, who is one of our moderators and gets the trolls out quick.
Rolando.
Yes. How did you know he was one of the girls?
Oh, I didn't. I just want to say it like that.
You nailed it. Rolando.
Rolando.
Miss Chung, I'm a big fan. Doesn't a return of Jupiter bring expansion? I think one of your slides showed America's coming up.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're in it now. The
Okay.
United States is in its Jupiter return. And if you have Jupiter in Cancer or Jupiter in Leo, then you personally are going through your Jupiter return. So it happens in increments of 12. So if you're 36, 48, oh my gosh, 60, then you're going through your Jupiter return.
I went through that. It was a time.
Yeah, it was a time.
It was a time. Okay. Now, some people are getting very specific, and I need y'all to stop doing this. Like, pay for the reading. Okay. Pay for the reading. This is
Or
her
join my
skill,
class. Yeah.
Or join her class. Like, this is her skill. But for the sake of promotion, this question. Morning, Miss Chung. Double Taurus, living on my Chiron line for years, feeling like moving through mud and depleted, but need to get out of LA and the US. Any ideas on how to connect to needed Aries energy?
Ooh.
First of all, what's a Chiron line?
So she is referring, sorry, I assumed that.
Well, I saw Denise, but
they are referring to astrocartography, which you can actually find an astrocartographer to find the best like line for you to live on.
Like longitude, latitude, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Like you basically put your birth information into the map of the world. And so you could see like, but it really is like based on the planet and your intention of that place. Because if you want to, let's say, have more discipline, you would move to a Saturn line. If you want to, something like this. So I would find an astrocartographer that aligns with you and ask them, what is the best place for me based on like your intention, like what you want out of a place. And yeah, I think that's the best way you can go.
I would be so curious to see where mine lined up and line up, because I've moved at very specific times in my life, and they have been very fortuitous.
Oh, that was the word. Yeah, the word of the day.
But my mom has also moved, and she always says, "Mans, it's like everything had to line up a particular way for you to get here." And it's not like she was in one place. It's like she literally had to like go through a series of places to like end up in the place where my dad was for me to be born. So it's not like anything even came to her. It's like she had to go through a path. So I would be so curious to chart her astrological
astrocartography.
Her astrocartography, because it's very like
yes. I also find, because like there's ley lines all over the world, and I often find that places call to me, so like I felt very called since 2024 to go to Korea again, because I went in October 2024.
Yes.
And I tried going last year, but it just didn't work out. But I was like, I have to go. And it was like the place was like pulling me. So I would also suggest like feeling into your intuition in your body of the places that are calling to you too. Because I do think that specific place and the energy of that place is part of the growth in the moment.
Do you know any astrocartographers?
My teacher, Sam Reynolds, who is like an iconic astrologer, Sam Reynolds.
Okay, I'm gonna look up Sam Reynolds because
look him up.
I'm muy curioso.
Muy curioso.
And people are muy curioso about where they can sign up for the class. So let me make a banner to put on the bottom of the page. Where can they sign up?
Through my website, laurakchung.com, and it's under the tab Star School. And we start next Wednesday. Mercury's day is Wednesdays. And that's why I was like, oh, did you do this on purpose? Your podcast on Wednesdays?
No, but I find that when well, you know this because you've told me this, but like I literally like sat with what feels like the right day. And then I remember asking folks and people were like, Wednesday feels like the right day. Wednesday feels like the right day. And I was like, okay. Because my natural capitalist mind is Monday.
But that's the moon's day.
And now I try to not do anything on Monday. Now I'm trying to treat Monday as like, well, I'm trying to treat my whole life as a retiree, but that's another conversation. Because I honestly like thought about it the other day and I was like, I've been working since I was 8. I've been paying taxes since I was 8. I've been hustling, like literally like my entire entity has been moving in the context of how do I advance these gifts? And I don't want to think like that. I don't want to exist like that anymore.
Wow. Child star?
Yeah.
Wow.
Child star. And like, not just like child star, like, because even if I wasn't child star like Doogie Howser, it was still like I missed out on certain stuff because I was doing that.
Right.
Like I got pulled out of like our 5th grade trip to Wekiva River Park because my mom pulled up and was like, you have to go audition for a cop and a half. And I cried the whole way there. And then I did the audition and she was like, how was it? I was like, who cares? I mean, I booked it.
Oh, I was going to say, did you sabotage?
No, I mean, I always book the stuff, but like, I was in gymnastics and the coach said I was going to get to work out with the older girls that day. And it was like a huge big deal. And my mom was like, yeah, no, we're going to audition for a show at Nickelodeon.
Oh my God. And you got that, right?
My brother and me. But you have to walk like really far from the parking lot to the audition like place. Cried the whole way there. And my mom was like, oh my God. And then I got it together and went in, read, and then I booked it. So
you're just like naturally talented.
It's not even that. It's literally like a trade. Like acting for me is like something I learned at DeVry. You know what I mean? It's just like a skill that I just have. I can
at DeVry.
Yeah, like I can just like if all else fails, like anybody need an actor? Because I can do.
Yeah.
So, but it's just I don't want to hustle anymore. So Mondays are moon days.
They're moon days.
It doesn't mean I'm not working. It doesn't mean I'm not using my gifts. It just means I'm changing my relationship to them.
That's good.
And you guys, Laura K. Chung's astrology class is incredible. I took it and I feel like one of the notes that I want to give all of you is it's not something you can do passively. Don't go and take the class and think that you're just showing up to just like lollygag or gallivant, as a Caribbean parent would say. Go there with the spirit of learning and with the spirit of estudiante. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that I wish I had approached it that way from day one. Like I was present, but I didn't have my mind in like student mode.
Yeah. Like I need to take this like seriously and study and yeah.
Like I take in information differently when I'm there as a student versus there as a listener. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like I was listening as someone lecturing, but I needed to be there as a flippin' student. So, you guys don't play yourselves is my point. And for the record, Laura K. Chung will tell you we did that in the last class. So you weren't here for that.
And I'm going to push you because I'm an Aries. So I'm going to be like, this. Did you study?
You taught the last class. That was your first time teaching that class in this particular way, right?
Yes. The first.
What do you feel like you're bringing into this one that you learned from the last one?
So I added 3 extra like study hall sessions, 1 per month, so that people could have a moment to catch up and ask questions. And then I also have a TA now. I have somebody who's going to help me. She's going to make worksheets and yeah, so I took the suggestions of the first class very seriously because I do want, again, my intention for teaching is that people are armed with the tools to not only understand the theory, but take that theory and actually like be able to read charts on their own. Because I personally am not of the like a mind that you should just be listening to everyone's opinions. What's your opinion? Like, how do you see this transit? You know, like you have to take responsibility for your life. And so I'm like, the best way to do that is to teach people how to fish versus like, I'm just going to tell you the astrology of 2026 and this is how you should use it. No, like how are you going to use it?
I mean, I had a therapist one time tell me, you know, your job is to have your feelings and my job is to interpret them for you. And you're just sitting back and enjoying the ride. And I was like, absolutely not. Last time I'm seeing you. But I thought you'd really appreciate this. Kezi K247 says, for some people, astrology seems like a luxury in times when people are trying to survive. But today showed me astrology can be a tool for survival or maintenance, maybe renewal, amongst other things. Heart.
Wow. I'm honored. I
feel like this was just a great way to come back into the fold of Views from Manderland in this new colonizer year of 2026. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I've been saying Happy Colonizer New Year to people and watching people do the math and science in their head, and then
they're like
and then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then some people are like, why? And I'm like, I've got the answer prepared for you. It will be on my next Substack. So you guys, you know what to do. Go to laurakchung.com, go to the Star School tab, and you can also get readings from Laura K. Chung. So there's like 3 different types of readings. So make sure you read what each reading type is so that you will get the one that you want. Okay. And again, thank you, Laura, for being so fab.
Thank you so much. Thank you to your
giving
community.
Us your time and knowledge.
Everyone is so, when I see Amanda Landers out in the wild, everyone is so lovely. Thank you.
Yay, you guys, you're representing us well. Bye, Laura. I love hearing that you guys are out in the wild and behaving yourselves and representing. I love hearing that. Let's get, okay, so that was fabulous. And we talked a lot about colonizing, right? We talked a lot about the colonial mindset. We talked a lot about the ways in which we have to actively challenge that. And that brings me to my, how Black do you feel today? How Black do you feel today? So my how Black do you feel today is coming from this sister in Africa. And for, here we go.
Most dangerous African of today is an African who is colonized, educated or not. What is our education doing to us? What have we done to undo the colonial education? I hear right here in Ghana, perfect example. There's not a single Kwame Nkrumah book that is required reading in the Ghanaian educational system. Whose problem is that? Most African countries, our educational system is still the colonial educational system. So what do you expect from the leaders that we have today if their education remains colonized? It is the educated who are refusing to challenge the status quo and speak on our behalf, educated or not.
So first of all, shout out to Sovereign Media, which is the new news footprint from the folks that brought you African Stream, Ahmed. So I think that's really great to see him moving forward and continuing to present us with knowledge and information from other places on the continent, from other perspectives on the on the continent. That is Dr. Arakana Chihimobori, Chihombori Quo. She's a Pan-Africanist. She's also a physician and a former African Union representative. And this was at the New Africa Foundation Convention in Accra. And, you know, I want to make it my business to really do the work of showing you guys voices on an international scope that are speaking to shared values, because we are not really respecting that we are not alone. And thus we say siloed. And we are here on Views from Amandaland with voices from all over the world. And yet there is still a necessity to continue to amplify voices that are coming at us from places that have been at different phases of revolution, at different phases of learning, etc. Because I know I saw Adrian say earlier that it's like other countries in the world have already had winter arrive. Like they've had Ned Stark show up and the White Walkers, whereas we are only just now in that phase. But what I believe is coming on the other side of this is there's going to be a global reckoning, right? Because think of it in Lord of the Rings context again, where it's like we saw the orcs in Lord of the Rings. They had went to different places, right? Like the orcs and the Uruk-hai, they had went to different places, but some places like hadn't experienced them. Like the Shire was like, we don't even know what this is about. However, when it came down to it, though, all of Middle Earth was feeling the pain. All of Middle Earth. Once it turned up, everybody was gonna feel it. So I truly believe that in the effort to bring one world under one leadership of suppression, they will actually inadvertently create one world of unity that can rise. And I love what Ibrahim Traore said about this here. He speaks about, actually, you know what? I'm going to get to Ibrahim. I think a better point right now to carry this forward is a high quality white moment.
Violence of our time is caused by obedience. Throughout American history, the political leaders have always exhorted the American people to be nice and quiet and leave things to them. But when very serious evils confronted the American people, they had to go beyond the congressmen and the senators, and they had to commit civil disobedience, and they had even to break the law. And the abolitionists had to do it. And right here in Boston, they had to violate federal law by trying to bring a slave away from the federal marshals. They had to commit civil disobedience. The labor movement had to do this. They had to violate the law. They had to disrupt things. They had to do all sorts of impolite things. They had the sit-ins of sit-down strikes of 1936 and 37. And only this finally brought that modicum of justice that the labor movement demanded. And the civil rights movement went through the same thing. And you know that Congress did not act on the civil rights laws of 64 and 65 until blacks went out into the streets and made a commotion. They did not do it on the basis of some polite discourse. You know, we have been brought up to believe that the American political system works beautifully. It is democratic. Congress represents us. The president is elected. He represents us. It doesn't work that way. Democracy depends on people speaking out, and in times of great crisis, on people creating a commotion.
Okay, first of all, I need y'all to understand, Isabel, because that's exactly the tonality when I sang it. I was like, you know what? For high quality white, we need to hit him with a little Britney. Yeah. But the reason why I do high quality white is because we have also been tricked into thinking that all white people are bad and without the capability to do the job that is very specifically their responsibility. And so there is something very real in being able to say, hey, here are examples of folks for you to look at on how you can model your behavior. These folks. Yeah. I want to see that. I want to see that, and I want to see more folks really standing on that because it's real. I mean, let's get into some Black Current news. No, let's get into some 60 headlines and talk about, you know, some protesting as it is existing.
60-second headline. And I run down some news right quick.
Run it down, mama. Put us on.
So we're watching what's going on in Minnesota here in the United States, and many of us are seeing just an exorbitant amount of violence taking place. However, there's also a really incredible amount of community and resistance that is looking like all different types of things. So when I created the Smart, Funny, and Black logo, the Smart, Funny, and Black logo is... So I don't have it right here at the ready. Great. The Smart, Funny, and Black logo. I mean, it's like right here. The Smart, Funny, and Black logo is representational of the many of many facets of what it takes to resist, right? And I think it's so important that we continue to acknowledge the ways in which people are resisting on a multitude of levels. So I want you to watch this video, and what I'd like you to do is I want you to write down, or you can put it in the chat, the different ways you're seeing people resist. And here's the categories that I want you to consider it in. Okay, I want you to consider it in: are they resisting as rebel fam? Are they existing as woke fam? Are they resisting as fly fam? Or are they resisting as, here's fly fam. Are they resisting as culture fam? So woke fam, let's start with rebel fam. So rebel fam is going to be folks who are coming through. Hold on, give me a second to add to get my act together. Okay. So rebel fam are going to be our fighters. These are the folks who are going to get out there, put their bodies on the line. They're going to get out there. They're going to confront. They're going to do what needs to do. They're going to be physical, and they are going to be fearless in that regard. All right. Then we have our woke fam. Woke fam are going to be our folks who are coming through. They're going to be they're going to be spouting the actual words that shut shit down. They're going to be the ones that have done the readings. They know the law. They also may have the capability to use intellect to dissuade the people that are doing the harm. Okay. We have our fly fam. Fly fam are going to be the folks who are coming through in swag. Okay? They're coming through in a particular type of energy. Okay? It's that unique type of energy and vibe that shuts shit down. And then we have our culture fam. And culture fam are the artisans. All right? Those are the ones who are using creativity and artistry to challenge. Okay, so now that we have got all our fams, let's see And let's honor what's going on in Minneapolis and how they are all fitting into this multi-pronged approach of resistance, the time-honored work of resistance.
I can explain with this new.
Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, got it. Got it.
Fuck you!
And so for some people, they call that a strike. For many of us, we say that this is our right to refusal until something changes. On Friday, January 23rd, we are calling for a day of truth and freedom. It is a day where every single Minnesotan who loves this state and loves this idea, this notion of truth and freedom reigning true here, will refuse to work, to shop, and to go to school. We all have witnessed through several videos the murder of one of our own, Renee Good. There are lies being spewed about our neighbors here to give an excuse to try to validate why we have thousands of masked officers here harming our people and harming us, taking citizens from where they work, beating people up and dropping them off at random locations. This is not rumor. We are seeing it with our own eyes every single day. This day that we are calling for, we now have 10 days to get there. And in those 10 days, we are calling on all Minnesotans to get your plan together. We're doing it with unions, like the St. Paul Federation of Educators, Unite Here Local 17, SEIU Local 26, our ATU, our transit union here in Minnesota, and many, many more unions are gathering. This is also with faith and community groups like Isaiah, Unidos, Jewish Community Action, Copal, and many, many more. The list continues to grow. We have to make sure that every single person is doing what we are called to do in this time, that is grounded in their commitment and in their conviction. And so for some people, they call that a strike. For many of us, we say that this is our right to refusal until something changes.
Okay. All right. So when we're looking at these different examples. I saw a lot of folks in there sharing the same thoughts that I had. Now, I would say that when the Somalis had shown up, that felt like actually Fly Fam to me, less than Rebel Fam, because they came through all wearing like the jackets with the salwar kameez, and it was like, no, we're not having it. Like, we're not having it. Like, us as a cultural squad are not having it. And I just want to shout out all of the folks in Minnesota. I know this is so deeply distressing and frustrating to watch and be a part of. And I want you to know that I am deriving strength from watching their efforts, from watching them stand. And we are seeing this happen on a global level, right? We're watching folks standing. But my thing is that I want to bring to your attention, though, is something came to me this morning. So we are now also watching a protests happening in Iran. Okay. So let's see some video from those protests. So for those who are listening on the podcast, that first person was asked, do you have a message for Trump regarding his nonsense? And she said, I don't even consider Trump a human to even be talking about him. He can go die. Okay. So these are individuals that are being interviewed who are out there in the streets, who are protesting Iran's very oppressive and repressive government, being asked about the folks who were integrated, the folks who were controlled agitators that had started rioting. They were destroying mosques, etc. We then also saw Americans like Mike Pompeo touting and boasting about the United States and Mossad being involved in these protests. And I want to point out to you all that several things can be true at one time. This is a legitimate protest that was started by the shopkeepers and folks in Iran who were saying, we're done with inflation. We are standing up and we are not going to take this any further. Those very real issues can so often be co-opted and weaponized by outside forces who are looking for a vulnerability to be able to come in, swoop in, and shift the consciousness of the people to their will to suggest that they would be some sort of a savior. We saw this happen in Venezuela. Okay? We saw this happen in Venezuela. However, you saw people outside of Venezuela who were saying that the folks that were protesting Maduro's being literally abducted were being paid. And I want to show you this video from Code Pink where they interviewed supporters of Maduro and asked if they're being paid.
¿Cuánto le pagaron por estar aquí? A mí me pagaron. Coño, una ofensa, mami.
That first person said, asking me that is an insult.
Esa pregunta jamás lo hace.
That woman said you should never ask that question, and she said it with Anato war paint on her face as an indigenous person.
¿Cuánto le pagaron por venir para acá?
This man was asked, how much did they pay you to come here?
Oh, nunca.
He said, no, never, never.
Con todo respeto, esa palabra me ofende.
This man said, with all due respect, that question offends me.
Ofende la dignidad del pueblo venezolano. Estamos acá por voluntad propia, estamos acá por un ideal, con mucha fuerza, con mucha dignidad.
He said, we are here for Venezuela. We are here in dignity, for the dignity of the homeland, for an ideal with great strength. And then he started tearing up.
Fuerza, con mucha dignidad.
bombardear nuestro país, arremeter contra nuestra paz, contra nuestra soberanía. Y no somos como aquellos otros que se hacen llamar venezolanos.
This young man here, put them Venezuelans in quotes. He said, all of those who call themselves Venezuelans.
Y están afuera del país y se alegran porque acá haya una intervención, porque haya muertes. A nosotros sí nos duele.
He said, those people that are celebrating the intervention that took place here, like, that's not it. He said, we feel their pain of their own experiences, but they're celebrating death.
Sí nos duelen nuestros hermanos.
Aquí hay petróleo, aquí hay muchas riquezas naturales, pero sí, son nuestros, son de los venezolanos.
¿Cuánto le pagaron a usted por estar aquí?
Ay, me han pagado con amor.
They asked this woman how much did they pay her, and she said, they have paid me with love. They have paid me with love. Now, at the same time that we are seeing these protests happen in Venezuela, and we know that there has been an attempt to co-opt the protests in Iran, there are protests happening in Patagonia, which also is in South America with Chile and the Amazon, because these Israelis have been starting fires in Patagonia. And I know folks are like, I can't even believe that, but there's literally been a hold on, where are my notes? In a February 2017 interview, the director of CONAF Magallanes stated that according to park statistics for the past 5 years, Israeli tourists accounted for almost 2/3 of expulsions from Parque Nacional Torres del Paine, resulting in local hostels not taking in Israeli nationals. This has also been noted in, did I say Amazonia? I said Amazonia. I meant to say Argentina. This has also been noted in Thailand, where there have been like restaurants that are burned down, and then all of a sudden they get bought and rebuilt with a owner that is Israeli. This is what we are seeing as the growth, the expansion of Zionism. And I want people to understand that there's a supremacy grounded in it. However, Chilean communities said, we're going to crowdfund to protect our community from development. And I loved seeing this because it requires communities that have not necessarily been interconnected to connect, to fight a bigger fight that is happening above them. Now, this is why I also look at someone like Zoran Mamdani sideways, because he is allowing for there to be sales of actual occupied Palestinian land in New York. And he could strike that. He could say that you can't do that. However, instead, what was done was there was a law or something, so to speak, put in place that says that you have to stay 60 feet away from a place of worship if you want to protest. They are not in these temples protesting. They're not protesting worshiping in these temples. They're protesting the sale of stolen land. And then you have freaking AOC, who I cannot stand. I cannot stand this lady who decides to use her platform to say, hey, so marching into a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and leading with a chant saying we support Hamas is a disgusting and anti-Semitic thing to do. Pretty basic. And I'm going to say here and say it's not. It's not anti-Semitic. I'm really done with the whole everything is anti-Semitic. I'm just done with it. The literal idea that if you say anything that hurts Jewish feelings or that makes a person who identifies as Jewish have to think deeper about their relationship to things that are challenging Zionism. That is not anti-Semitic. Hamas is not anti-Semitic. Hate to break it to you, Alexandria. It is not anti-Semitic. It is anti-Zionist oppression. That is what Hamas is. So I need her to stop pretending like she's for the people. She wants to run for president. Anyone running for president is just running for the next position as U.S. mouthpiece for Zionism. That is all they are. And now that we are understanding the immense hatred and devoid of love and life that Zionism aligns itself with, we simply cannot continue to align ourselves with folks who align themselves with it. We just can't. The fact that Zoran is doing these things, like he demoted Jessica Tisch, so to speak, but really all it says is that she doesn't speak to him. She speaks to the lieutenant governor. Well, what that says to me is you've just removed yourself from having to be confrontational with her. That's all that says to me. She's never demoted because she's a member of the Tisch family, and the Zionists are Zoran's boss. She is actually with them. They employ him. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We have to remember, whenever we are talking about oppression, it is not in a small space. We have to look at it like we look at layers of rock in the Grand Canyon. You're looking at it on a variance of levels of time. So yes, you look at your local, then you look at your state, then you look at the country, and then you look at the banks. And I asked y'all to ask yourselves, so let's just get into this. Let's get it. So I asked you to ask yourselves, who is running America? Because I think that the story that's constantly being told is simply that the billionaires are running America. However, it's important to understand that someone's running the billionaires. You see, money has to get made physically, okay? And when we're looking at billionaires, we have to ask, how are these billionaires making their money? In the past, billionaires made their money via transportation. Whatever actual industry sector was growing, that's how those billionaires made their money. The fact, though, is that those sectors shift over time. However, the people who are determining how money gets made has not shifted. It hasn't shifted. There were 13 families that were a part of the Roman Empire. They became the Vatican. There were 13 more families. Those are the Zionists. Those families funded the United States Revolutionary War. They took over the Bank of England. They created the system of money. And they still run it. So when we look at names like J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Kennedy, these are family lines that are connected to the New World Order, which is the expansion to the United States, of those that are running the money and the resources of the world. And so when you see that, you're able to understand that, it goes even further up than we can imagine. Oh, I'm not forgetting them. I'm just not saying their name because it's going to trigger a whole other thing on this algorithm. So there's so much history that has to be understood to be able to grasp how we're here. And when you all think of businesses, you may think, oh, well, there's executives and there's CEOs. However, so often there's people at the top that you don't never see, but they're running it. They're making all the bread. That's the world, bro. That's the world. And when you start to understand that, you're like, oh, and it makes it so that when you see people arguing about Democrats and Republicans, it looks dumb. And so when you hear me feeling like I'm over it, it's because I've expanded my knowledge beyond that. And I see that as simply just like it's a distraction. It's like you're in the sandbox. But as Saida says here, we have to think internationally. Democrats and Republicans, they are on the same page, just doing different versions of the same thing to you. We've seen that. Once we see the proof, we have to understand that. And so when we think internationally, we are challenging a very, very, very old effort at running the world. And that is scary. And that seems daunting. But to be quite honest, I don't see anything better to do with my time than that. I don't. Let's listen to Ibrahim Traore, because I love what this brother is saying in this video, because he is really, again, bringing us back to the reality.
Qu'adviendra-t-il donc du panafricanisme? Nous ne pouvons pas comprendre que les Noirs en Afrique de l'Ouest ici prient Dieu que les terroristes tuent des populations noires. Pourquoi est-ce que le Noir est comme ça? Pourquoi est-ce que nous ne pouvons pas voir le danger venir, nous unir et nous prémunir? Pourquoi est-ce qu'il faut que par nos comportements, nous allions affronter ces dangers? Des peuples se complaisent dans la...
That is the shade here is throwing up the prime minister or the president of Nigeria while this man is talking about why black people be hurting each other. We can't see the danger coming and unite? Nah, because some of y'all like colonization.
La colonisation. Ils aiment cette domination. À peine s'ils n'appellent pas les impérialistes, venez nous coloniser. Nous aimons être vos esclaves. Nous nous posons souvent des questions lorsqu'on voit les réactions. Ces pseudo-intellectuels, lorsque la démocratie fait certaines choses contraires aux règles même qu'elle s'est fixées, ils ferment les yeux là-dessus. Mais ils sont prompts à nous appeler juntes ou putschistes. Mais soyez sûrs d'une chose, nous sommes unis et nous resterons unis.
So what Ibrahim Traore was saying here at the Sahel Alliance's annual meeting in 2024 was that, the reality is none of us in Africa will be free if all of us aren't free. Even if we're Pan-Africanists and some of us are like getting focused, some of y'all are not. And that is because people really want to still be colonized. And he was like, we cannot continue this madness. We cannot continue to sell each other short. And Africans, I believe, when I see people saying that 92% are sitting this one out, when I see people saying that, I'm like, damn, they really got you. Because trust and believe, it is Black folks that will save the world. I say that with my entire chest. It is Black folks that will save the world. Because we have, I don't know what it is, but we got something with us. Perhaps it's that we traveled the length of the earth. Perhaps, so therefore we have the unique ability to coalition build. Everybody got a little bit of us in them, whether it's Native Americans or First Nation folks or Chinese folks. Africa is not some location that was given a name by white people and now all of a sudden exists. No, Before that, there was a people. And we are the extension of that. And those white folks, those Zionists, those white supremacists, they know that. And that's why they put the most effort into keeping Black people separate and suppressed. They know that. They put so much effort. I'm not making this up. Over so many centuries, they're like, we got to keep shutting Black people down. Do you understand? It's not simply just about resources. It's about spirit. You think they were shutting down Amilcar Cabral and Walter Rodney and Lumumba and Sankara just because they were like taking their energy back, their money back? No. It's because they were bringing the reconnection of the Black people to their power back. That's why. You think they murked Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers because they were getting people to vote? No. It's because those were people that had an alignment with a spiritual power that they saw and said, we got to get it out of here. This is bigger than capitalism, bro. These people make money because money controls, but it's really about control. The earth is a source of power. And the continent that is the largest continent on this planet had the most people that had the most knowledge of that power at one time. And they came and got all of those folks wrapped up, except for Ethiopia, wrapped up. So when I'm talking about wanting to make the content of this show shift beyond just talking about the news, that's what I'm talking about. I want to shift us to be more in alignment with how we get more in alignment. And that sometimes requires breaking down the news. It also requires talking about astrology. It also requires talking to people who are in the land. It also requires talking to organizers. It's all the things. It's all the things. It requires talking to artists. I believe this in every cell. We have 50 trillion cells in our body, and all 50 trillion of my cells believe that and know it. Not just believe it, but know it. So I implore us, everybody here, to lean into the Al-Kabulan, I can never pronounce it, the Al-Kabulan in you, because it is there. It is there. And to begin to wonder, how am I waking that up? It's not just about waking up the Aries. How am I waking up my awareness of a power of purpose and pureness that I can use to face these folks who have been at the helm of our destruction for centuries? And in the United States, all they did was just get a bunch of families in the United States that they funded them. Do you know what the Gilded Age is about? The Gilded Age is about Zionists funding families in the United States to become the version of the 13 families that were running the Roman Empire in the United States, in the New World. That's what the Gilded Age is about, y'all. You might like the outfits, but that's what it's actually about. And they can't actually do that in the show. So they just give you a bunch of basic storylines that are about nonsense. So I appreciate y'all. And I want us to continue to think beyond, right? To think beyond. I do see what you did there, Sedge for Rent. Think beyond, imagine beyond. Like, that's the part of the culture fam of it all. is that creativity, that artist bone that Laura was referencing. You know, you think these people are smart? No, they're not smart. They're just tapped in. And you're not. And they're tapped in and using it to power some bullshit that's been effectively disenfranchising and harming us for centuries now. And the time is coming, with all that we know, for us to actually stand up to the Fire Nation. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. And they're so cocky. Why wouldn't they be? They're so cocky. They're like, we got this. We about to expand and make this whole world ours. And folks are thinking about Democrats. I will flip this table. Amanda Land. PSA. For everyone who's going to go through the growing pains of what I call purpose puberty, stick with it. For the last 2 weeks, I've been having severe anxiety, IBS, headaches. Actually, it's been longer than 2 weeks. And I realize it's because I'm transitioning into a space where I'm releasing, and my physical body is responding to it. Because it's a cleanse. And it's also withdrawals. Because we have been fed carcinogens that our brains have been living on. Narcotics of nonsense. Toxicities that come through text, that come through media, all the above. And when we disengage from it, our body starts responding and reacting and going through withdrawals. And it can be violent. Stick with it. Yes, the purging safe space, Sue. Stick with it. Drink your water. Integrate new practices of restorativeness. Reach out. Because there is something real happening. And there's always a little voice in the back of my head that wants to doubt it. And that voice was supplanted there on purpose. That voice was supplanted there on purpose. And I know that because I have seen so much evidence. And that is why we also need to write books, because I've seen so much evidence historically that lets us know that we are not here for no reason. That I can't dispute that and I can't refute that. And when you see these people sit up there and confidently say, we need to make sure that the story of October 7th is told correctly, you need to make sure that you are telling whoever is around you, in whatever age group, denomination, etc., the truth of October 7th as you know it. And what you know for sure is that them folks killed their own people, that it didn't start on October 7th, and that October 7th is a marker, an inflection point that we can see as a time of great awakening. And that is the story to tell. Boom, 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 boom. I appreciate the concerns, the fears, the worries. I also know that it is completely impractical to be caught up in your own concerns, fears, and worries when you know the inevitable is coming. And the inevitable that's coming is a heightened repression. So we have to now stop being solely caught up in the swirling dervish of these people and the chaos. And also counteract with actual actions of progression and innovation. So your assignment this week is to come back next week. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me get out of this real quick. Let me get out of this real quick. Sexy. Sorry. TSA. So your assignment this week is to ask yourself, what is a method? I just had it in my head. Now it's gone out of my head. Dang! I literally had it. And then once I played bonus question, my brain was like, bonus question, bonus question. And it was gone. So the question I have for you to ask yourself is I can't remember what the question is. I can't remember what the question was. Dang it. I'm so annoyed with myself. I'm so annoyed with myself. Man. All right. Progression and innovation. Progression and innovation. It was something in there. It's something we're going to do personally in the next week. That may have been it. Let me think real quick. Kimberland Jackson said, take your time. Take your time. Your assignment is to ask somebody what they know about Zionism. And from their answer, what do you then decide is a method that can be deployed to challenge? The reason I'm asking you to ask somebody is because you don't know what people don't know. And so we end up in our own silos, and we end up like making our actions based on simply our own individual positioning. But we're not by ourselves. We're not in a vacuum. So I want you to ask somebody. And then from there, the question is, from their answer, what does their answer inspire you? How does their answer inspire you to a new idea, methodology, effort, application to challenge repression? You are not fighting Americans. That is a baseline. You are fighting a much bigger effort at suppression and repression. Yes, if you need to right now, you can start there because our minds can only take in what they can take in, and that's a reality. But just know that there's an expanded fight to be had, and we need you in it, baby. We need you in it. Hey, come on now. Show your love. Show your love. Thank you for everybody who joined us today. We appreciate you here at Views from Amanda Land. How did y'all feel about this show? The format of it? I know it was different, but you know, I liked it. I liked that it was just free flowing. I liked that it was just kind of just hanging out, but talking about things and the way that they pop up. Did you appreciate that? Because I know I did. And I really want us to just lean into establishing new ways of existing. Oh, I think that's what the question was. We'll use it for next week, and I'm going to write it down. Remember, I do this show for the free ski. So consider, please consider subscribing to the Patreon, as well as consider, donating to the Cash App or leaving a super right here at at Views for Amanda Land at Amanda Land TV. If you have not liked, commented, and subscribed, please do. And the way that this gets pushed through the algorithm is that after the show, right after the show, I want you to leave a comment, because you can't leave a comment in the comment section while we're doing the live. But after the show, you can. And that is what thrusts the show forward in the algorithm. And so I request that you all do that. Now, after the show, we're going to head on over to Patreon. So before you get to Patreon, leave your comment, and we're going to have our after show kickback. So big ups to all of my SEAL Squad members. You guys have your critical thinking exercise. Everybody here, Amanda Landers, you have your critical thinking exercises to implement. And I need to write fortuitous in our word of the week notebook so that we remember that we have used fortuitous. And that was our word of the week. And I hope that you guys will also use fortuitous in your daily life. Fortuitous meaning something that is, here it is, fortuitous. It is accidental, happening by chance, positive. Like I had a fortuitous run-in at a restaurant that led to me teaching that art class. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's been real. And as always, we will get into our, 30 seconds of stillness. Actually, before we go, who are our newbies? Who are our new folks? Can you let us know in the chat if you are new so that we can give you a proper welcome and a proper hello? Because I did see some new faces and new comments, and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. So I would love for you all to let us know. Look at that. Love it. All right, y'all. 30 seconds of stillness. Amanda.